Go. Welcome to Highland Community Ballpark today for a doubleheader on this blistery cold April afternoon. It's, wintry weather starting the month of April. Not your typical baseball weather at that, but, well, we're going to play some baseball at that for Highland Community Ballpark as the Scotties welcome into town Cowley Tigers. I already played a doubleheader against Cowley earlier this week, and, well, we're going to have another showdown against them here today. Hopefully better outcomes for the Scotties this time around as Cowley controlled the first two contests in Cowley earlier this week, and we'll see what can come to fruition between these two teams here today. Justin Reeser will get start for Highland on the mound for the Scotties. And I'll give you the Scotty defense as they'll don the home whites today with the dark blue numerals outlined in the goldish yellow as well with the dark blue hats as well for Highland here today. Battery mate to Justin Reschick will be Chris Procopio as the catcher today. Mason Nagel, will be over at first base. And at second base, Keyshawn Ballard. Hot corner, Tyler Watson. Shane Drolet at shortstop for the Scotties today. Out in left field, Jerry Alcantara will get the start for Highland. In center, it's Jordan Henning. And in right, Josue Ortiz getting the start for Highland Community College. Scotties sit at 12-20 on the season. Cowley at 26-8 on the year. Last two games played between these two teams were against each other. Devin Beard, the DH, will lead things off for Cowley, followed by Kevon Edwards, center fielder. And Reschick's first pitch is ball one. Alex Peterson will bat in the 3 spot for Cowley today. Left fielder for them. Grady Davenport, your 4 spot with the right field position. Dalton Dinkle, the catcher, will bat 5th. That fouled off down the first base line to even the count at 1-1. Kevin Rowland, the shortstop, will play in bat in the 6th spot. Cross Factor will bat 7th, and he'll be playing at the third base position. Kenny Rowland will bat 8th and play over at first base, and Carson Sader, will be batting in the 9 spot and playing second base. 2-1 the count. Early on here, just getting into the doubleheader today for Highland Community College baseball. Justin Reschick again on the mound for the Scotties. 3-1 now the count. Justin on the season making his 7th start. He pitched 3 complete games with 30-plus innings pitched on the season. 33 and a third overall with the 2-3 record. Full count now to the DH for Cowley, Devin Beard. Three-two delivery from Reschick on the way. Outside ball 4, and Beard draws the base on balls. Cowley garnered 8 and 9 walks, respectively, in the first 2 games they played at Cowley. 11-3, 15-5 finals were in those 2 contests. Kevon Edwards, the center fielder. Swings and misses at the first pitch and delivery from Reschick. Cowley, as I mentioned, 26-8 on the season, 19-3 in Jayhawk Conference play, 12-5 overall on the road, and won 6 in a row, including the last 2 against the Scotties. Reschick comes inside again and gets Edwards to swing over the top of it. Justin gets ahead in the count, 0-2. Team batting average of .338 on the year, averaging about a little over 9 runs per contest and over 11.5 hits per game for Cowley as a team. Time called as Reschick looked over to first to prepare for the 0-2 delivery. On the season, Edwards, .374 batting average for Cowley on the year. That's 5th best on the team. Swing miss and down on strikes. Out number 1. It's a strikeout to Justin Reschick. Reschick on the year now with 29 Ks on the mound. So his next strikeout would be his 30th of the season. Alex Peterson, he's a gentleman that's been playing extremely well this season for Cowley. 65 hits with a .471 batting average on the year. And Rishik checks the runner over at first, standing back up his Beard safely. Left fielder Peterson digs in for his first delivery from Rishik and gets contact on that, shooting it out towards right field. Ortiz up the hill in pursuit, goes past his glove to the fence and turning all the way towards second. Throw off line, past the shortstop's glove, and it's going to go all the way to the third base fence. It's going to score a run, and then advancing into third. We'll call it double for Peterson, and advancing to third on the throw. Scoring the run as well, and Beard comes in to score, giving Cowley the 1-0 lead early on. Base on balls to open up the contest. Pays dividends for Cowley. Grady Davenport digs in. Davenport, second best batting average on the team, .364, 47 hits for Cowley. And first pitch ball from Rishik. Playing out in right field is Davenport today for Cowley. 26-8 record on the season, which I believe sets them top of the J-Out Conference East division. Got contact there. That's going to find the gap out in left center field and backtrack itself all the way to the fence on one hop. They're headed into second and stopping with the double. But back-to-back extra base hits for Cowley to open up here in the first inning. They've scored 2 already. Dalton Dinkle now comes to the plate. Dinkle, the catcher for Cowley. .378 batting average on the year with 37 hits. Rishik checking the runner back at second. First delivery's in the dirt. Procopio is able to keep it in front of him, but ball 1 to Dinkle. Nice cold April afternoon. Not your typical weather, obviously, for this time of the year. And good contact by Dinkle past the third baseman's glove and out towards left field. Davenport advances to third. Dinkle gets himself a single. And about 37 degrees here at first pitch. Slight wind, 5 to 7 mile an hour, but not too bad overall. But going to warm up a little bit slightly, perhaps over 40 degrees today, but still a bit chilly at this time of the year, obviously. For shortstop, Kevin Rowland will now dig in as the 6th different guy to come to the plate in the top half of the first inning. 3 consecutive hits, followed a walk and a strikeout to open up the contest. That pulled foul on the third base side for strike 1. Cowley's in the gray pants with the orange tops. Black numerals and letters outlined in the white for their baseball uniforms today. So 2 consecutive doubles followed by a single and 2 runs on the board right now. Chopper Rishik fires it home, and they'll be able to apply the tag. And easy play there to get Grady Davenport out at home on a fielder's choice. Wise decision by Rishik once he saw the base runner on the move. And Procopio and Rishik keep a run from getting across the board. Fielder's choice 1-2. So now runners at second and first. Dinkle and Rowland, and now it brings up cross factor. Interesting name for Cowley guy. .363 batting average for Factor on the year. First pitch strike, paints the black on the outside from Reshik to the third baseman for the Tigers. Scotty's under second-year head coach Daniel Doolin, just 12-20 on the season, trying to find their way throughout the course of this year, build the program up as Coach Doolin. Struggled as of late, trying to snap a losing streak. Highland is against one of the top teams in the Jayhawk Conference in Cowley. 1-1 now the count, 2 outs, top of the first inning, 2 across for the Tigers thus far, take the 2-0 lead. Scored 20-plus in the doubleheader against Highland at their place earlier this week. Contact past the pitcher, Reshik, and out towards center field. That's going to bring in Juan, turning from second going to third, and of course coming home will be Dinkle. And first to third is Roland. Factor gets himself an RBI hit. So that brings in the third run of the top half of the first inning, and Cowley on top, 3-0. Eighth guy to come to the plate, Kenny Rowland, first baseman. So 2 outs, top of the first inning. 4 hits in this inning, partnered with the walk to produce 3 runs thus far for Cowley. First pitch from Reshik is ball 1 to the Cowley first baseman. Kenny Rowland on the year. Not many at-bats thus far this season. .235 batting average overall. Only about 17 at-bats, however, over the course of the season. Swing and a miss that time to even the count at 1-1. Reshik with the 1-1 delivery on the way. Justin comes inside, but dips low for ball 2. Runners dot the corners for Cowley right now. 2 outs here in the top half of the first. A 2-1 count to Kenny Rowland, the 8th different guy to come to the plate. Scotty's struggling as of late to find consistency overall, but trying to get out of the inning right now with a 3-run deficit. Take the bats off the shoulder for the first time. 3-1 now the count to Rowland. Carson Sater will be the next guy up if Rowland does continue the frame. Again, runners at the corners. 3-1 count on the way. Rowland chases after it, fouls it off. So full count we've worked ourselves to at this point. Looking at Cowley and their success, they've mentioned they won 6 in a row entering today, but 16 of the last 18 have went in the win column, and 6 of their 8 losses are by 3 runs or less. So needless to say, they've been in some competitive ball games over the course of the year, but also controlled some games this season too. Dave Burrows in his 31st year as the manager. Reshik with the full count delivery on the way to Rowland with 2 outs, and Rowland will draw ball 4. Second walk of the inning, loads the bases. Rowland in that order from third to first for the Tigers. And Cowley with 3 runs across already, but 2 outs here in the top half of the first inning. Will bat around. Reshik facing the second baseman. And first pitch stays high from Reshik's hands for ball 1. Offensively, Cowley, one of the better teams in the Jayhawk Conference consistently over the course of the year thus far. Now 2-0 count. Reshik misses on that last delivery out of the zone. thus obviously leading to their 26-8 record on the year as well. Scored 301 runs, 380 hits on the year coming into the doubleheader today. Bases loaded, 2 outs, 2-0 deliveries, called strike 1. 2-1 now to the Cowley second baseman. A walk opened up this first inning. Then Reshik bounced back, got the next guy out on a strikeout, but then back-to-back doubles followed by a single. Helped get some runs across the board. Another single and then a walk as well. Partnered in there with the fielder's choice in there. Makes it a 3-0 lead. 2-1 delivery in for a strike to even the count at 2 apiece. So a couple extra base hits, 4 hits overall and 2 walks to the tune of 3 runs. But Highland wants to make sure that it's only a 3-run deficit they face when they take the bats off the shoulders for the first time, as they see that full base pads in front of them from Cowley, and breaking pitch stayed up, and that's now a full count. So full count from Reshik. Trying to get out of the inning here in the top half of the first for the Scotties. And Reshik's delivery got some piece of that. That's going to send it out towards left field and tracked in that time in the glove of Jerry Alcantara, and Jerry tracks in the final out of the top half of the first inning. Do bat around does Cowley. They get 3, but they leave the bases loaded in the top half of the inning as well. Scotties will take the bats off the shoulder for the first time with Jordan Henning batting leadoff. Josue Ortiz and Keyshawn Ballard due up when we return on the Scotty Sports Network.
What is it that stays with Highland alums that make them want to come back and work there? Almost 40 Scotty alums are now Scotty employees, and that number increases every year. Highland President David Rice encourages and supports those who work there with a simple philosophy. You're hired to do a job, do it well. Supporting folks to do their jobs encourages them to meet Rice's simple but high standards. Consequently, Highland faculty, staff, and administration are all part of a supportive culture that helps each other do their jobs well. Check it out, Highland Community College, online at highlandcc.edu.
If you have heard stories about college debt and what it is doing not only to the student who borrowed the money, but also to families who co-signed those loans, you may have concern about your own college future. Check out the difference it makes to attend Highland Community College before transferring to a 4-year institution. Going to Highland will save you thousands of dollars in college expense. Literally, you'll be able to start your life after college without the burden of debt that is impacting so many families. Check it out at highlandcc.edu. Highland Community College. From here, you can see anywhere.
Well, Cowley bats around in the top half of the first inning, and they get 3 out of that situation. However, it could have been a far dire situation than the 3-run deficit that it is for the Scotties at this point, because the bases were loaded with 2 outs nonetheless for Cowley. They had a prime opportunity to crack this one open quite early, but Scotties were able to rein them in the top half of the first inning, but it didn't come without some damage being done overall. Down 3-0, but that's not an insurmountable deficit early on, obviously, as we're just into the bottom of the first inning, so it's the first time that the Scotties will take some swings here in today's matchup. Jordan Henning will be batting leadoff for the Scotties. Josue Ortiz in the number 2 hole. He's the right fielder today. Henning, of course, in center field. Keyshawn Ballard, your number 3 spot. He's second baseman. On the mound for Cowley, Brandon Jordan. He delivers a first pitch strike to Jordan Henning. Mason Nagel will bat 4th. He's, of course, playing first base. Chris Procopio, the catcher, will bat 5th. Jackson Rico DHing today and batting 6th. Tyler Watson, the third baseman, bats 7th. And Jerry Alcantara will be batting 8th, playing in left field. He had a good catch to wrap up the top half of the first inning. Shortstop Shane Drolet rounds out the batting order for the Scotties. And pitch off the plate. Henning lays off that pitch, and on the 0-2 delivery, now 1-2 the count. Jordan on the season, 18 total hits, .250 batting average on the year. Hits the chopper back to Jordan on the mound, that it was easy to pick off of and be able to lay it up with a little scoop toss over to first on a 1-3 putout. Henning is out number 1 in the bottom half of the first inning. We'll set the defense for Cowley in just a moment as Josue Ortiz set to dig in for Highland. 28 hits for Josue on the year, the freshman from Puerto Rico. 288 batting average on the season. Playing primarily out in the outfield at right field. Seen action other places, but not much in the other places on the field. First pitch strike from Jordan to Josue. Dalton Dinkle is the battery mate to Brandon Jordan for Cowley at the catcher position. And that's ball 1, low and away to Ortiz for a 1-1 count. Over at first, Kenny Rowland. Then your second baseman is Carson Sater. Hot corner cross factor, and then Kevin Rowland is your shortstop for Cowley. Out in the outfield, Alex Peterson, and then Kevon Edwards and Grady Davenport from left to right for Cowley. Swing and a miss by Ortiz, and that evens the count at now 2-2. Josue 2-2 the count to the right fielder. Watches one sail high. That pitch got away from Jordan on the delivery that time. Jordan, second most innings pitched for Cowley this year, 38 1/3. Has a 2.35 ERA. And Josue with the disciplined plate appearance draws the base on balls and gets an early base runner for Highland. So a one-out walk drawn by Josue Ortiz, his 15th walk drawn of the year. And Keyshawn Ballard, the gentleman that has provided the most offense throughout the course of the year for the Scotties, touts a 386 batting average with 39 hits, 28 runs scored, and 21 RBIs. Keyshawn with the runner on already and takes a first pitch strike. Ballard's got a multitude of extra base hits, 8 doubles, 8 home runs, also a triple thrown in there. One delivery on the way from Jordan. Ballard gets a piece of it, but pulled it foul on the first base side. Strike 2. Oh, to the count here. Bottom of the first inning. Scotty's down 3-0. Cowley, like I said, has been able to put forth plenty of offense over the course of the year. Scotties have struggled at time, been able to score some runs at certain situations, but scored 8 total runs in the action against Cowley in the doubleheader. Pitch goes into the dirt, and it'll be ball 1 to Ballard, also allowing Josue Ortiz to advance 90 feet into scoring position at second. Scotty's on the season, 6.3 runs per game on average, 8 hits per game. Give up just under 9, however, over the course of the year. 2-2 the count now. Ballard was down the count 0-2, but taking the last 2 out of the zone. Even the count 2-2 here with Ortiz in the scoring position at second. And Keyshawn watches it come inside, and that'll be ball 3. So we'll work to a full count now for Keyshawn Ballard. Sophomore with the payoff pitch on the way. Gets some contact on that. Loops it out towards right field in pursuit, but that's going to fall, and Keyshawn Ballard's got himself a hit. Josue had to hold up over at second to make sure it wasn't going to be caught out there, and he trots into third. So the first hit of the ball game goes to Keyshawn Ballard, which is Keyshawn's 40th hit of the season. Mike Smith alongside with you here today on this chilly April afternoon. Although the sun's out and the wind's not blowing too bad, so it doesn't feel maybe as cold as the temperature might actually indicate that it is. That doesn't make it nonetheless not cold. But runners at the corners, 1 away, bottom of the first. Scotty's down 3-0 against Cowley. Good contact that time by Mason Nagel, and backtracking out towards left field. Has to make an adjustment, but plenty underneath it to be able to do so. Here comes the throw in, and no opportunity to get Josue Ortiz out at home, and Josue will trot in on an RBI sacrifice fly from Mason Nagel's bat. Mason didn't waste much time before putting one in play, and it was out deep in towards left field, but tracked down nonetheless by the left fielder out there for Cowley, and Does bring in Josue Ortiz for the Scotties to cut the lead to 2. 3-1 deficit as Alex Peterson hauled in that ball, but a sacrifice fly bringing in the run. And Mason Nagel getting his 27th RBI of the year. Chris Procopio takes ball 1 there after the first pitch was delivered from Brandon Jordan as a strike. Procopio on the season, .258 batting average with 17 hits, 11 RBIs, and 12 runs scored. Played in the doubleheader series against Cowley, did Procopio in both games. One and two the count to the Scotty catcher, Chris Procopio. And Procopio sees it just staying high, and now 2-2. Keyshawn Ballard over at first, 2-2 the count here with 2 outs in the bottom half of the first inning. Scotties have sent 5 to the plate with Procopio digging in. He fouls that last pitch off. Two delivery on the way again is going to be low, ball 3. So Procopio battling here. We've seen full counts garnered by a couple different batters in this bottom half of the first inning against Brandon Jordan. Paid dividends for Keyshawn Ballard. He was down the count 0-2, but he, of course, went on to get himself a hit. This one going to be out towards left field. It's going to go down for Procopio. They throw towards third, sliding in with no opportunity for a tag is Keyshawn Ballard. So Ballard at third after the Procopio single, and now we've got 2 on at the corners with Jackson Rico headed to the plate. Jackson had started to get some time when Mason Nagel went down with injury for a little while, and Jackson has earned himself a little bit more consistency of playing time now as of late for the freshman from Lee Summit, Missouri. This will only be his, I believe, 9th or 10th game seeing action. That pulled foul off the bat on a little check swing. Rico on the season, 8 hits, .258 batting average, 7 RBIs. Struggled in the plate appearances he did have against Cowley, at Cowley, but now 1-1 the count. But he comes to the plate with 2 on, 1 in scoring position. Scotty scratching 1 across the plate here in the bottom half of the first inning. That goes into the dirt. Ball 2. So 3-1 Cowley leading just in the first inning of our doubleheader today. Cowley wants to talk things over on the mound now. As I told you, Brandon Jordan, second most innings pitched for the Cowley squad coming into today. He's a 7-1 record on the year, the most wins on the season. 8 games started, so this would be his 9th started. So he started the most contests as well over the course of the year, too, as the freshman right-hit righty. Two and 1 the count. To Rico. Keyshawn Ballard at third. Chris Procopio over at first. And pitch goes low, ball 3. Josue Ortiz got on base to come around to score in this inning with the walk. We'll see if walk garnered as well. Rico takes called strike 2. And now full count. Third time it's worked a full count for a Scotty batter in the bottom half of the first inning. Tyler Watson awaiting a crack at it here too. And Rico chases after it, pulled it foul and out of play on the first base side. Three-two now the delivery will be again. After Rico worked that a little while ago, the ball gets away and actually popped up and out of play. So will allow advancement of a base runner, and the Scotties will score Keyshawn Ballard on the walk as the passed ball will actually score the run. because the bases weren't loaded, so not an RBI situation there where you'd have an ultimate advancement. But Scotties are allowed to advance one, as that would be it. Chris Procopio now at second as well, and big hack at that pitch, but Tyler Watson comes up empty. Watson, the third baseman for the Scotties. Tyler, 309 batting average, freshman from Kansas City, Kansas. 17 hits. And Tyler swings and misses on that opportunity as well. Now down the count 0-2. So a couple of hits and 2 walks have allowed the Scotties to draw right back in this, and it's now a 3-2 advantage. Watson tattoos one out towards center field, and it was able to be lofted up enough that the center fielder actually tracks it down. Edwards, I thought it might get over his head, but Edwards got a good beat on it and a read going up the hill. A couple of steps to get that line out from Watson on a well-hit ball to center field, but it's going to end the bottom half of the first inning. And after 1 inning of action, the Scotties draw within 1 after giving up 3 runs in the top half of the first. The Scotties have an answer with a couple of hits and 2 walks, and they get a pair of runs of their own. 3-2 after 1. Scotties trail at home against Cowley by 1 on the Scotty Sports Network.
Get all the latest news on Highland Community College athletics by checking out ScottyAthletics.com. From recaps of the latest game action, schedules, stats, player features, athletes of the week, and much more. All you need to know about Highland Community College sports at your fingertips at ScottyAthletics.com. Make sure to also follow us on Twitter at HCC Scotties and on Facebook. Highland Community College surprises a lot of people. Generally thought as one of the smallest, Highland is actually in the middle of the 19 Kansas community colleges in enrollment. Its Highland campus has a real college feel with housing, athletics, student organizations, theater, concerts, art shows, an operating farm, and distinctive academic programs in its regional centers that cover the college's 9-county service area in northeast Kansas. Viticulture, enology, precision agriculture, diesel, construction technology, early childhood. Check it out, Highland Community College, online at highlandcc.edu.
Well, 5 runs scored total between the two teams in the first inning as the Scotties give up 3 in the top half of the first to Cowley, but have an answer offensively with a couple of hits and a couple of walks thrown in there as well in the mix. They're able to get 2 runs, Highland is, and make this a 3-2 contest as we sit right now in this showdown. Here in the top half of the second inning, we have worked ourselves back to the top of the order as well for Cowley as they sent all 9 guys to the plate in that top half of the first inning to open up the contest, as batter number 9 was out number 3 of the inning. So it'll be the leadoff man, Devin Beard, leading it off again, this time here in the second. Justin Reshik will head back to the mound, making another start for the Scotties here today. Reshik appearing in his 31st game overall, 7th start pitching-wise, 2-3 record as I mentioned earlier, 6.48 ERA on the year. So Beard, who opened up the game for Cowley with a walk, scored one of the 3 runs. He now digs in for his second plate appearance here in the top half of the second. Takes high ball 1 from Reshik on the first delivery. Reshik had a quick answer after giving up the leadoff walk. He followed that up with striking out Kevon Edwards. That's when things opened up for Cowley after that with 3 consecutive hits. And another hit and a walk thrown in there as well to ultimately get the 3 runs, but they left the bases loaded. 1-1 delivery after last pitch fouled off. Pitch sails high from Reshik's hands. And now 2-1. Wind picking up a little bit. Blowing in from left field. Third base side. Only about 7 to 10 mile an hour wind, but still good enough on a cold day to make it feel a lot colder. Two after Beard fouled off the last pitch. And Beard does a little dance out of the way with his feet as that was pitched in the dirt by Rishik. Now full count. And Beard going to get a piece of that to send it out towards left field. Get himself a single and continue the offense for Cowley. Cowley registered 30 hits in the 2 games against Highland earlier this week. And like I mentioned earlier, had 380 total hits coming in to today's doubleheader. Kavion Edwards, 374 batting average, 43 hits on the year. I got multiple guys with north of 40 hits on the season. 5 guys with 40 or more hits on the year for Cowley, including Alex Peterson, who leads the team with 65, 66 now because he had the double today already. Reshakes 0-1 delivery as he sets, and time called before Justin could throw that, but he still made the toss. So 0-1 the count with the runner over at first. Nobody out, top half the second inning. 3-2 lead for Cowley. 26-8 record for the Tigers on the season. 12-20 record for the Scotties. 0-1 delivery straight down the chute for a strike. And Edwards now falling down the count 0-2 to Reshik. Holden, Kansas, redshirt freshman with the program last year. Of course, now being able to play this year, playing a bit of outfield and, of course, pitching as he is here today. The 0-2 delivery on the way. Procopio keeps it in front of him. He's going to gun down towards second, covering with the shortstop, but it goes into center field. The throw does, and going to third, and no opportunity to get their throw there in time. Beard advances with a stolen base, and I guess we'd call an E2 as well. So now in scoring position at third. Nobody out is Devin Beard after he drew the base on balls, moving around the base pads. Edwards digs back in, 1-2 delivery from Reshik is outside, ball 2. Outside a little bit low as well. So a wild pitch and then an E2, ultimately advancing the base runner and Beard around. Now full count for Edwards, the center fielder for Cowley. Three-two delivery on the way. Nobody out. Top of the second inning, and Cowley threatening with another run. Draws the base on balls. Third walk of the game issued by Reshik, and that gives runners at the corners for the Tigers.
Now running on field number 14, Alex Peterson.
And Alex Peterson got the first hit of the ball game for Cowley. Got a double, advanced to third on a throwing error. The error ultimately bringing in the first run of the ball game. Go on to score 2 more as well, did Cowley, for a 3-run top half the first. Scotty's answered with 2, though, back in the bottom half of the first inning. Runner on the move, chopper down the third base line and foul. Peterson will be down to count 0-1. Runner over at first, Edwards was on the move, trying to put himself in scoring position early on. Nobody out. 2 on. Third and first, respectively, and Reshik checks Edwards back at first. Just in an enter today, only giving up 7 walks in his previous appearances, and he's given up 3 to Cowley here early on. Pitch goes low and inside. Now 1-1. Rishik entering today with 28 strikeouts to 7 walks. He's got 1 strikeout today for his 29th, but he's also, like I said, issued the 3 walks on the day, too. And going over the top of that, swing and a miss by Peterson. And 1-2. Rishik with 33 1/3 innings pitched prior to today. Through an inning of work right now, and runner on the move. They'll throw down towards second, trying to make the play, and they do get him out at second. The runner does come home. The throw's offline there and gets to the backstop. They erase Edwards, catching him. Then come in to score does Devin Beard. Throw home was a little offline, and Procopio can't track it down. Now 4-2, lead back up to 2. Edwards picked off, and then Beard coming in to score. Maybe now the base is empty for the at-bat to continue for Peterson. Peterson calls for time with a 1-2 count, and now 1 out. Beard led off the inning with the single, now followed suit with Edwards drawing the walk. 2-2 now the count. His last pitch stayed up. And Rishik comes inside, and that'll be... Oh, I was going to be ball 3, but it hit him in the foot, apparently. So, a hit batsman will allow the base runner to go down to first. So Peterson taking one off the top of the shoelaces, getting himself on the base pads. Grady Davenport set the dig in. He was taken off the base pads on a fielder's choice, but that was after he reached on a double, his first plate appearance. Rishik misses inside for ball 1. So, with a hit by a pitch, that is 4 free passes now from Rishik, given to Cowley. A 1 delivery on the way, comes inside again, moves back, did Davenport out of the way, but same vicinity where basically it was when it hit Peterson on the foot. One out, 1 on, top of the second, 4-2 Cowley lead. And Rishik's delivery on the way, straight down the chute for a strike. And 2-1. Pitch misses the zone from Rishik there, and now 3-1. Rishik laboring a little bit here early on in this showdown, going through the order in the top half of the first inning when Cowley scored 3. Now, Scotties did get out of that situation without giving up a big, huge inning because Cowley had the bases loaded and they left them that way. 3-1 deliveries in for a strike 2 and make it a full count. Well, this is the 4th guy to come to the plate here in the top half of the second. All 3 have actually prior reached safely, but Edwards was taken off the base pads, caught stealing. Peterson over at first for Cowley in the full count. Time called. Scotty's had an answer in the bottom half of the first inning. Of course, when Cowley batted around, Scotty sent 7 of their 9 to the plate as well. A couple of hits and a couple of walks, been able to get them to go. And, well, Rishik kind of shrugs his shoulders on after that pitch, last delivery, and gave up another walk. Dalton Dinkle singled his last time up in the first, scored one of the 3 runs as well for Cowley. 4 walks and 1 hit batsman thus far from Rishik's hands to Cowley, and just only 1 out here in the top half of the 2nd inning. Still only a 4-2 advantage for the Tigers, despite their base runners being garnered quite often. First pitch ball to the Cowley catcher, Dalton Dinkle. Dinkle with 2 on with Peterson and Davenport. And Dinkle puts one up into the air. This one out towards right field. Osway on the hill after it and tracks it down at the fence. Runner at second's going to tag, and Peterson trot into third. Davenport stays put over at first base. So fly ball out by Dinkle is out number 2. Deeply hit out towards right center field. Up on top of the hill, Josue Ortiz able to track that one into his glove. And make it 2 away here in the top half of the 2nd. 1 run across the board, 4-2 lead. Kevin Rowland, the shortstop for Cowley. Kevin hit a fielder's choice. He actually hit it right back to Rishik towards the third base side of the mound. Justin was able to get the runner out at home that was trying to advance and score a run that time, which would have been the 4th run of the game at that time, but instead it was just a fielder's choice, and Highland worked out of the inning, leaving the bases loaded for Cowley in that situation. Cowley does get their 4th run of the contest here in this inning, however. Top half of the 2nd. Rishik's 0-1 delivery on the way for a strike. Paints the black inside, and now he's ahead in the count, 0-2. Justin struggled to find the zone consistently thus far, but a couple of solid pitches and this AB against Kevin Rowland. And Scotty's again trying to get out of a situation where, looked bleak early, and surrender only 1 run here would be ideal to get out of there. Procopio kept it in front of him, but it goes into the dirt, and 1-2. Runners at the corners again for Cowley. Peterson and Davenport respectively. And 1-2 delivery hit over to the shortstop. Drolet, flick of the wrist over towards second to the fielder's choice, and that will do it. So Scotties do give up a run in the top half of the 2nd inning, but again, it was another situation that Cowley looked like they could do a lot wide of damage, but unable to do so anything there. And the Scotties will try to, claw right back into it. Down 4-2 with Jerry Alcantara, Shane Drolet, and Jordan Henning due up when we return on the Scotties Sports Network.
Highland Community College continues to make college more affordable. Administrated by Nelnet Business Solutions, HCC now offers payment plans. Any student taking an HCC course may finance their tuition fee and main campus housing via one of 3 different payment plans. Choose from day, evening, weekend, or online classes with one great low rate. Associate's degrees and transferable classes with financial aid and scholarships also available. Highland Community College. From here, you can see anywhere. What is it that stays with Highland alums that make them want to come back and work there? Almost 40 Scotty alums are now Scotty employees, and that number increases every year. Highland President David Rice encourages and supports those who work there with a simple philosophy. You're hired to do a job, do it well. Supporting folks to do their jobs encourages them to meet Rice's simple but high standards. Consequently, Highland faculty, staff, and administration are all part of a supportive culture that helps each other do their jobs well. Check it out, Highland Community College, online at highlandcc.edu.
Bottom of the 2nd inning, we've worked ourselves to. Scotty's down by 2, 4-2 in this showdown. And Jerry Alcantara shows bunt to try to get this one, but he wants it sky high into the air. And Pitcher Braden Jordan comes off the mound and quickly has a little infield pop-up that is out number 1 on just one pitch. Talk about ultra efficient there. You get out number 1 on just one toss, and Jerry Alcantara trying to utilize his speed by laying down a bunt, but it popped up into the air, and Jordan able to track it down off the mound. Ball 1 to the shortstop, Shane Drolet. And then it's back to the top half of the order for the Scotties here in the bottom half of the second inning. Drolet now with a even count of 1-1 against him. Shane on the season, 246 batting average. It's a liner right to the shortstop. Not much adjustment needed over there on the shortstop position for Kevin Rowland, and the line out right necessarily to him. He took one step basically to, I guess it would be his right, our left on the screen. But just like that, Jordan looking to get out of the inning after facing 7 in the first, tossing about 33 pitches during that time frame. He was able to get a couple pitches here, nearly like just about a handful, and get a couple of outs already. Jordan Henning now with a 1-1 count. Jordan hit it back to Jordan. Jordan Henning, that is, hit it to Braden Jordan for a ground ball out his first time up. 1-1 delivery here with 2 outs already is high and outside. Ball 2. Scotty's had a couple of throwing errors that have hurt them in this ball game, allowing some advancement of the base runners. Now, we've seen 5 left on base for Cowley, so they've scored 4 runs, but they could be having a little bit wider of a margin. Highland's been able to at least keep it within relative striking distance at this point. Down by 3 early on, they answered with 2 runs, and Henning swings and misses on a 3-1 delivery for a full count. Scotties would like to have another quick answer here and get another run back, but going to have to do it with 2 outs, as 2 quick outs were garnered by pretty much Jordan himself. Of course, he able to get fly ball out in the infield, and it's a called strike 3. Henning thought that was ball 4, and instead it's a backwards K for Jordan, and it's his first strikeout of the ball game. And just like that, the Scotties unfortunately are quieted by Braden Jordan there for Cowley. Cowley able to get out of the inning in the bottom of the second, sending the Scotties down in order 1, 2, 3. 2 innings in the books, a 4-2 lead. Cowley Tigers lead here in Highland against the Scotties of Highland Community College, 4-2 on the Scotty Sports Network.
Highland's new precision agriculture program was designed for the farmer or related farm worker of the future. The future arrived quickly. Today's agricultural work goes beyond the field and barn to the computer, the satellite, the drone, the research lab. Aligning all these aspects precisely for the individual, field, and crop is provided by Highland's Precision Ag program. Centered in Baileyville at the College Western Center, this program can provide you with experience in understanding and applying modern farming methods. Check it out.
Highland Community College surprises a lot of people. Generally thought as one of the smallest, Highland is actually in the middle of the 19 Kansas community colleges in enrollment. Its Highland campus has a real college feel with housing, athletics, student organizations, theater, concerts, art shows, an operating farm, and distinctive academic programs in its regional centers that cover the college's 9-county service area in northeast Kansas. Viticulture, enology, precision agriculture, diesel, construction technology, early childhood. Check it out, Highland Community College, online at highlandcc.edu.
Well, Scotty's bats quieted in the bottom half of the second inning by Brandon Jordan of Cowley. Cowley able to maintain a 4-2 advantage for themselves, although they've had prime opportunities over the course of this contest to open it up in just their first 2 opportunities and half innings at the plate. They were able to make some good contact and make some opportunities to go around. This one hit out towards center field. Jordan Henning making slight adjustment to track it in. And one out here in the top half of the third. Justin Reesick kind of needed that. And Kenny Rowland coming down to the plate after cross factor flew that ball out towards center for out number one. So the Scotties retire the leadoff man for the first time in the half innings faced against Cowley today. Of course, they had garnered a walk and a single. This one, a great play diving over at third. Nice play to make the throw over at first as Tyler Watson almost nearly snow cones the play over there just at the top of the glove. Was able to track it in and a 5-3 put out. So Watson with a nice diving play and grab. Fires over to first, and just like that, Highland trying to match the 1-2-3 inning from Cowley's defense with a 1-2-3 inning of their own. So 2 up, 2 down, and that pitch high for ball one to Carson Sater. Second baseman for Cowley. He was a fly ball out to end the first inning. Takes a strike that time for a 1-1 count now. Flew out to end the inning after, of course, batting around in the first for Cowley. 1-1 delivery, and Zader pops that one out of play. 1-2. Reesick with a 1-2 delivery, catches it for a strike, and he gets a 1-2-3 inning. Backwards K for Justin Reesick, his second strikeout of the day, also his 30th of the season. And a great answer by the Scotties as Justin Reesick and company go with a 1-2-3 top half of the third. Now they need to get the bats rolling again. It's going to be the 2, 3, and 4 spots up. Ortiz, Ballard, and Nagel when we return on the Scotty Sports Network.
Get all the latest news on Highland Community College athletics by checking out ScottyAthletics.com. From recaps of the latest game action, schedules, stats, player features, athletes of the week, and much more. All you need to know about Highland Community College sports at your fingertips at ScottyAthletics.com. Make sure to also follow us on Twitter at HCC Scotties and on Facebook. What is it that stays with Highland alums that make them want to come back and work there? Almost 40 Scotty alums are now Scotty employees, and that number increases every year. Highland President David Rice encourages and supports those who work there with a simple philosophy. You're hired to do a job, do it well. Supporting folks to do their jobs encourages them to meet Rice's simple but high standards. Consequently, Highland faculty, staff, and administration are all part of a supportive culture that helps each other do their jobs well. Check it out, Highland Community College, online at highlandcc.edu.
Josue Ortiz set to lead it off here in the bottom half of the third inning. Josue drew a walk in last time he was at the plate. This time he shoots one foul on the third base side off the end of the barrel for strike number one. Josue had a really good plate appearance in the first at bat. Worked a full count, was able to garner the base on balls overall in that opportunity and become the first base runner of the ball game for the Scotties back in the first inning. He scored one of the 2 runs, of course, in that frame. Pitch comes in for a strike. 44 pitches for Jordan, by the way, thus far, who's back on the mound for Cowley. Swung through and missed by Josue, and down on strikes he goes. So Josue out number one in the bottom half of the third, and that is now 5 consecutive outs for Highland. After having some solid success offensively in the bottom half of the first inning, Scotty's bats quieted by Jordan and the Cowley defense, and Jordan has set down the last 5 batters, which include the final out of that first inning. First pitch strike to Keyshawn Ballard. Keyshawn Ballard, of course, with 40 now hits on the season, total of 40 hits, and Ballard sharply shoots one over the shortstop and over the top of his head and on the glove and in towards left center field. Shortstop there tried to come up with the pick on the high hop, but it hopped right over the top of Roland's head. And Keyshawn Ballard has another multi-hit contest, his 12th of the season. Keyshawn, like I said, has been able to, be the most consistent bat of the team. 386 batting average, by far and away tops of the Scotty bats on the year. And Mason Nagel takes outside ball one. Mason has an RBI on a sacrifice fly from his first plate appearance today. The St. Joe, Missouri native missed a little time during the season, but returns as one of the key contributors that was here from last year's team. That pitch outside as well. Now 2-0 the count. Jordan's 2-0 delivery. Nagel chases after it and pulls it foul on the first base side over to the dugout. Mason, 333 batting average. With that RBI, he's now got 27 ribbies on the year, which actually I believe is the best on the team. 17 runs scored, 22 total hits as well, and pitch outside, 3-1. Jordan did give the Scotties a couple of gentlemen on the base pads back in the first inning via the base on balls. 3-1 delivery, well outside that time, no doubt about that, and ball four. So Nagel on the bases with his 10th walk of the season. And Chris Procopio, who had a single his first time up, he will try to continue some solid play as of late for himself. He's got 13 games where he's garnered a hit, 4 multi-hit games, and he can get another hit here. He'd have his 5th multi-hit contest of the year for Highland. Procopio getting the start at catching position today, the freshman. Jordan's first pitch, and he went after it. Procopio trying to pull back, but unsuccessful at accomplishing that, so it's going to be strike one. One away, bottom half of the third, a 4-2 lead. A breaking pitch that stays high from Jordan. And 1-1. Scotties have struggled as of late, as I mentioned, falling in the last few games, and that one is going to be worn by Chris Procopio. So Procopio hit by a pitch. Will load the bases. You've got Ballard, Nagel, and Procopio in that order, making the bases juiced here, and the Ducks on the pond for the Scotties with only one out. And here comes Jackson Rico to the plate in a prime position for the Scotties. Rico's got 7 RBIs on the year, looking to tack on a few to that total and also perhaps maybe tie this ball game up with a well-placed hit. Rico takes ball one. He drew a walk his first time up and a plate appearance that went about 7 or 8 pitches. Time called, and Cowley's going to have a quick meeting at the mound. Scotty's last games, of course, were this past Thursday against Cowley. And we're scheduled to have a game against Ottawa. That was postponed due to the weather in northeast Kansas. Not exactly springtime weather. Still not today, but had some duels with Johnson County, and unfortunately Johnson scoring a multitude of runs in some of those games. Had a tight one in the first game of that set of 4. But lost 6 in a row, has Highland. That go back to the date with KCK for the last win for the Scotties. Want to change that up and get a W here today and start off this doubleheader with a positive fashion. After the meeting at the mound, Jordan fires back with a strike to Jackson Rico. And 1-1 count to the Scotty DH with bases loaded. And Rico gets a little bit of that, fouling it off. And 1-2 the count. Deeply hit fly ball, at least bring in one. Sacrifice situation because it's only one out. So at least want to put it in play in that capacity at this point for Jackson Rico. And Rico going to get it right back to the pitcher. Bad throw. It goes off of the catcher, and everybody's going to be safe. Talk about little lady luck going the way of the Scotties that time. Keyshawn Ballard will score in, as that was able to go home on the play right back to the pitcher. But the fielder's choice is a bad one, and it goes awry. And I guess could call that an error at that point, as it carried off of the catcher. Took way over to the first base side, and that will be ruled as an error on the pitcher. So E1. First error of the game on Cowley allows Highland to score a run. 1-1 count here to Tyler Watson, who put one in out towards center field. And a well-hit ball was ripped towards center, but all the way back out there on the hill in center field, was able to track it down for Cowley center fielder Kevon Edwards. Watson brushed back a bit on ball 2 that came inside. So run, bases remain loaded, but run has come in. Watson pulls one foul. Now 2-2 count to the Scotty third baseman. Watson, 309 batting average coming into today. Like I said, had a good hit of the ball out towards center field. Now, it didn't go down his head, obviously. The liner out at center, but a well-hit ball nonetheless from Watson. Making his 20th appearance in a game this season. 17 hits, 10 runs scored, 4 RBIs. He'd like to add to that category right now. Has a prime spot of doing so and doesn't go after it. Oh, he did go. Watson goes after that one. He stood there. I didn't think he went after it, but they did call strike 3. And Tyler shaking his head as he heads back to the dugout, thinking maybe it pulled back, but not going to be the case from the home plate umpire, saying Watson took a crack at it and strike 3, and Tyler out on strikes. So 2 outs here in the bottom half of the third inning are both strikeouts. The very first batter of the inning, and then Watson as well. And Jerry Alcantara takes a first pitch strike. Jerry tried to bunt his way on his first plate appearance here today, and now quickly down to the count, 0-2. Scotty's with the run in this bottom half of the third to draw back within 1, down 4-3, but have an opportunity for more. And pitch well off the plate. Good block that time by the Cowley catcher, Dalton Dinkle. Dinkle able to stop that in front of him. Keep it right there, too, in the home plate vicinity. Scotty's with the run in this inning, looking to take advantage. Only 1 hit in the half inning as well, but an error, hit batsman, and a walk helping out to get the 1 run. A swing and a miss by Alcantara, and Jordan will ultimately strike out the side in the bottom half of the third, but the Scotties do get 1 more back, and it is a 4-3 advantage after 3 full innings of action here at Highland Community Ballpark. Cowley still clinging to the lead, but the Scotties making it interesting in this showdown right now, trailing just by 1 on the Scotty Sports Network.
If you have heard stories about college debt and what it is doing not only to the student who borrowed the money, but also to families who co-signed those loans, you may have concern about your own college future. Check out the difference it makes to attend Highland Community College before transferring to a 4-year institution. Going to Highland will save you thousands of dollars in college expense. Literally, you'll be able to start your life after college without the burden of debt that is impacting so many families. Check it out at highlandcc.edu. Highland Community College. From here, you can see anywhere.
Highland's new precision agriculture program was designed for the farmer or related farm worker of the future. The future arrived quickly. Today's agricultural work goes beyond the field and barn to the computer, the satellite, the drone, the research lab. Aligning all these aspects precisely for the individual, field, and crop is provided by Highland's Precision Ag program. Centered in Baileyville at the College Western Center, this program can provide you with experience in understanding and applying modern farming methods. Check it out.
3 full innings in the books, and the Scotties trail by 1 to Cowley College here at Highland Community Ballpark. Game 1 of the doubleheader for us here today, and, well, Cowley leads at 4-3 at this point, and Highland still holding on to opportunities here. Both teams have, though, squandered opportunities overall in this showdown, leaving some base runners on the base pads over the course of this showdown. 5 have been stranded by both teams in this matchup. Both teams also do have a 1-2-3 inning against them in the contest as well. So, needless to say, it's almost played itself to a mirror image from each offense and each defense over the course of the game, thus being a tight contest at 4-3. But Cowley owns the 4-3 advantage after 3 plated in the top half of the first inning on 4 hits and 2 walks. They got 1 more in the second inning on a pair of walks, a hit batsman, and a single. Also an error thrown in there to help get that run in. And right now, the Scotties will look for something they did against Cowley in the third inning. A 1-2-3 inning at that. That was the bottom half of the order. This is the top half of the order back up to lead things off. Devin Beard will be at the plate for the 3rd time, and all 3 times will lead off an inning. Takes a first pitch strike in the top half of the 4th. Beard has scored 2 of the 4 runs for Cowley thus far. He's 1 for 1 overall on a single, and then he drew a walk his first time up. Down at the feet, dancing out of the way. Beard makes it a 1-1 count after the Justin Reshik pitch was low and inside. Reshik's one deliveries in for a strike, and now moves the count to 1-2. Edwards and Peterson are due up after this, and those guys have reached base at least once apiece in this contest. Peterson twice, matter of fact, fouled off to the third base dugout. One and two the count. Five hits for Cowley in the ball game. 3 hits for the Scotties overall. As I said, both opportunities there. And, well, Beard in disagreement with the home plate umpire that was his strike 3, but it was from Justin Reshik. And Justin now with 3 strikeouts on the day. Getting out number 1, he's recorded 5 consecutive outs going back to the fielder's choice. That was garnered to end the second inning. 1 away, top half of the 4th. Contact made there, and in heavy pursuit was Reshik off the mound, but it'll be a foul ball and out of play on the first base side. Edwards 0 for 1. He struck out his first time up. Drew a walk, however, the next time. That was taken off the base pads when he tried to steal. Was out number 1 in that capacity back in the second inning. Reshik, so on delivery, stays high for ball 1. Edwards, center fielder for Cowley. 1-1 delivery stays high again from Reshik's hands. 2-1. Both pitchers kind of eerily similar as things have shaken out, giving up some free passes overall. Both have hit a batter in this game. Issued a couple of walks on top of it. Now 3-1 to Edwards. Both pitchers also have 3 strikeouts to their credit as well. 3-1 delivery, contact made but fouled off, and now full count. That's another thing that's happened a lot. Full count from each side. So thus racking up some pitches, especially on Reshik's side. He labored early in this matchup and maybe starting to settle in a little bit is Justin. But full count is going to be shot out of a cannon out towards center field, and there's a 1-out single. So 1-out hit by Edwards for Cowley, gets a base runner on. And Alex Peterson, who's been on base twice, coming to the plate. He was hit by a pitch on top of his shoe tops there his last time up. Thought it was just ball 3, but umpire said it hit him on top of the cleats. Double his other time up, which was back in the first inning, and he scored a run in that half inning. Rishik checks the runner back at first, and Edwards back standing up. Scotties, after this showdown with Cowley, are scheduled for a matchup against Baker on Tuesday. Then Coffeyville will come to town after that on April the 12th for the next matchups. Don't forget you check out ScottyAthletics.com for keeping up to date on all of Highland Community College athletics. Softball team moved their games from today to tomorrow, I believe, but weather-wise, tomorrow doesn't look the greatest either. Probably looks worse. Although it's on the road for the Scotties tomorrow for softball against Heston, I believe. Ball 1 on Rishik's first delivery to Peterson. Peterson and the gentleman in the on-deck circle, Grady Davenport, both have been on base twice in their 2 plate appearances in Game 1 of the doubleheader. Got a piece of that to shoot it through the gap into left field, and there's a back-to-back singles for Cowley with 1 out here in the top of the 4th as Peterson gets his second hit of the ball game. So Davenport has a double, one of 2 extra base hits, both in that first inning. And they're back-to-back doubles, of course, from Peterson and Davenport. And he's 1 for 1 with that double and a walk. He comes to the plate this time around with a pair of guys on in front of him, which he's had basically each time prior as well. And Davenport sees it come inside off the plate a tad bit from Rishik for ball 1. Cowley had their opportunities early to make this a larger lead than it was for themselves. Of course, they lead it by 1, 4-3 in the top half of the 4th. But Highlands had their opportunities as well. Left 5 on the base pads just like Cowley has. As Rishik goes low and inside again for ball 2. 2-0. One out, top of the 4th inning. 2 on. Time called at the plate by Davenport. Edwards and Peterson are both reaching on singles after strikeout to open up the inning, which was Justin's 3rd strikeout of the day against Cowley. Rishik gets Davenport to chase after that pitch. Got a piece of him, fouled it off out of play. Now 2-1. Two-one count. Now with 1 out with the 2 on. To Davenport, and Davenport calling time for again as Rishik was looking back towards second at the lead runner for Cowley. Edwards and Peterson respectively on the base pads. 4-3 advantage. Tigers up by 1 over the Scotties, and Davenport comes up with that one again, but fouls it off out of play. Now 2-2. Procopio going to trot out to talk with his pitcher, Justin Rishik. Justin seemingly found a little bit of a groove there for a little bit after, of course, seeing Cowley bat around in the first inning. And then in the second inning, they, of course, sent 6 to the plate. Got a 1-2-3 inning, did Reshik and Scotty defense in the third. Opened up this inning with a strikeout, looking like they might continue that, little momentum they had built. But back-to-back singles now have 2 on and just 1 away with a 2-2 count for the right fielder for Cowley. Reshik sets with the 2-2 count, 1 away, and Davenport going to go after this one, popping it up out towards right field. Josue Ortiz in on that one. He was tracking it out, but it goes behind him, and that'll be a single. It'll load the bases. Everybody was holding up. I thought Ortiz got a good read on it. He was covering a lot of ground to track it down, but it goes behind Josue and up on top of the hill. And now you've got the bases loaded again for Cowley, which they left bases loaded back in the first inning. Manager for Cowley out to talk with the home plate umpire. I'm sure it stems from the fact that there was long play in that situation of that at bat where Davenport called time multiple times and didn't like the fact that Reshik took a while in his opportunities on the mound. Dalton Dinkle now digs in and goes after the first pitch that Reshik delivers for him, and that one's going to be a foul ball. Dinkle 1 for 2 with a single and a run scored. Flew out to right field his last time up where that ball was headed before it pulled foul on the first base side. But bases loaded with Edwards, Peterson, and Davenport for the Tigers. Cowley leading at 4-1, top half of the fourth inning. Reshik readies with the 0-1 delivery on the way and strings it along on the outside for strike 2. Justin, when he's gotten ahead of the count, has obviously used that to his advantage more often than not over the course of the day. But both teams have had their batters work deep at bats against the opposing pitcher. And a swing and a miss, down on strikes. There's out number 2, so it's both strikeouts recording each out of this inning as Dinkle went after a high pitch, swung through and missed it. Kevin Rowland now coming to the plate. He's hit into a pair of fielder's choices for an 0 for 2 performance thus far. At the shortstop position, Rowland getting the start for Cowley. Now 2 outs. Reshik misses well high. Again, bases loaded here for Cowley. They had bases loaded and left them loaded in the first inning after scoring 3. They've stranded 5 in the game so far. Scotties want to make sure it's 8 left on the base pads now. Time called by Rowland. 1-0 delivery on the way from Reshik, and Rowland gets a piece of that, sending it almost out of the ballpark, and it will be by a mile as Rowland tattoos it for a grand slam as he was able to go over the road, that's for sure, and may have hit a vehicle out there parked that way as well, too, for the ballpark. But needless to say, with the bases loaded, that is smacked out of the ballpark by Kevin Rowland. And Rowland, well, gets Cowley 4 runs on the board to double up their score, making an 8-3 advantage. So Kevin Rowland with the grand slam. His 2 outs. Rowan's 4th home run of the season. Nobody with double-digit home runs on Cowley's team, but Kevon Edwards does have 9. But now with 4 home runs, Kevin Rowan, that's tied for 3rd best on the team for Cowley. That being a grand slam as well for a 4-run top of the 4th inning. So 8 runs surrendered by the Scotties thus far, and now down by a 5 spot. 1-1 delivery now on the way. Got a piece of it off the end of the barrel and fouled off for cross factor. 1-2 the count here. Factor is 1-4-2 overall. Fly ball out to center his last time up, but an RBI single in the 1st inning. Bases are clean and well outside and low. Now 2-2 the count to the Cowley 3rd baseman. Scotty's had an opportunity to get out of another jam and, well, keep this one within striking distance of, just a couple runs and be only down by 1 still, 4-3 at that point. But the bases were loaded and got it to 2 outs, and the grand slam hit by Kevin Rowland just moments ago, making it an 8-3 advantage now for Cowley. That was ball 3, so full count, 2 factor. And 3-2 delivery on the way. Puts it up into the air, out towards right. Josue Ortiz tracking in. And the high fly ball picked up by Ortiz for out number 3. But a grand slam by Kevin Rowland in the top half of the 4th inning makes it the widest margin that it's been in this contest either way. It's been Cowley leading the whole entire time, but only by, 3 runs or less until now. 8-3 lead. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning. Shane Drolet, Jordan Henning, and Josue Ortiz due up for the Scotties when we return as they trail 8-3 to Cowley on the Scotty Sports Network.
What is it that stays with Highland alums that make them want to come back and work there? Almost 40 Scotty alums are now Scotty employees, and that number increases every year. Highland President David Rice encourages and supports those who work there with a simple philosophy. You're hired to do a job, do it well. Supporting folks to do their jobs encourages them to meet Rice's simple but high standards. Consequently, Highland faculty, staff, and administration are all part of a supportive culture that helps each other do their jobs well. Check it out, Highland Community College, online at highlandcc.edu. Highland Community College surprises a lot of people. Generally thought as one of the smallest, Highland is actually in the middle of the 19 Kansas community colleges in enrollment. Its Highland campus has a real college feel with housing, athletics, student organizations, theater, concerts, art shows, an operating farm, and distinctive academic programs in its regional centers that cover the college's 9-county service area in northeast Kansas. Viticulture, enology, precision agriculture, diesel, construction technology, early childhood. Check it out, Highland Community College, online at highlandcc.edu.
Shane Drolet leading off the inning as Jordan wastes no time to get his first delivery in, and Drolet takes a first pitch strike. Shane chased it after the first couple of pitches that he saw against Jordan his first time up, hit a sharp liner over to shortstop, and Drolet is going to put this one that'll hook foul and out of play on the third base side. Deep foul ball, but nonetheless a foul ball by Shane Drolet. Drolet, 246 batting average entering today's doubleheader with 17 hits, 16 RBIs as well. 2-0 delivery on the way for ball 1 that time. Now 1-2 the count, and Drolet watches it go into the dirt for ball 2. Jordan in this contest, thrown over 70 pitches now for the day, and 3+ innings of work now, and Drolet gets another piece of it that shoots foul on the third base side over the top of Daniel Doolin down the third base line. He's got his 3 hits, 3 walks drawn. Jordan, though, has struck out 4 batters in the contest. Drolet again chopping it foul. Count remains at 2-2 as Shane Drolet fouling off the last two pitches down the third base side. Opening up the bottom half of the fourth inning. Scotty's down now 8-3. And, ooh, that one will graze Shane Drolet, and Shane will head to first after he was hit by a pitch. Shane almost kind of turned into that a little bit, but nonetheless garnering a base running spot for the Scotties. Couple of hit batsmen in this game. Drolet's been hit by a pitch now 4 times this season. And here comes Jordan Henning to the plate. He's 0 for 2. Jordan kind of struggling as of late offensively. Showed bunt, but obviously low and away for ball 1 instead. Jordan struck out on a called strike 3 his last time up, a call that they had some disagreements with. They thought it was ball 4. He was headed towards first, matter of fact, and Jordan's going to lay down the bunt down the first base side. Is scooped up by the pitcher. It was rolling pretty fast, and pitcher was able to pick it up in stride for Jordan to kind of then just shovel it out of his glove over to first for a 1-3 putout. Needless to say, it was a successful sacrifice bunt, as the sac bunt does advance the runner, and Shane Drolet to second. Here comes Josue Ortiz, 0 for 1 with a walk and a run scored. Josue looking for his first hit of the afternoon. He's got a runner in scoring position in Drolet, and that pitch high, but Josue takes a crack at it, and down the count 0-1 after swinging strike 1. Josue drawing that base on balls earlier, which was his 15th walk of the season. He swings over the top of that one as well. Now down the count 0-2. But he did strike out his last time up as well. North of 20 strikeouts now on the year. 0-2 delivery on the way from Jordan. And Jordan misses off the plate outside for ball 1. Jordan set the Scotties down in order in the second inning after Highland had that 2 hits and 2 walks to get 2 runs in the first. Went down in order in the second, then got some offense rekindled back in the third inning on just 1 hit, but they used an error, a walk, and a hit batsman. All that was able to get a run coming in. One-two delivery on the way. Drolet over at second, and a called strike 3. And Josue Ortiz down on strikes for the second time in this affair. 5th strikeout of the day for Jordan. And Braden Jordan able to pick up another strikeout in a timely fashion. And Keyshawn Ballard, 2-hit day for himself. Couple of runs scored. Ballard been the most consistent bat of the year for the Scotties. Another multi-hit game for himself here today, which is his 12th multi-hit game of the year. Ooh, that one comes in high that time, and Drolet was able to advance to third as it pitched well inside. As, Ballard did bend out of the way a little bit. May have, if he stood in there all the way, may have grazed the helmet up towards the head on that pitch. Ball 1, this is strike 1. Now 1-1 the count to Keyshawn Ballard. Keyshawn with a pair of singles today, now 41 hits on the season. That is by far and away the tops on the team for the Scotties. Only guy that's hit the 40-hit plateau. And 2-1 the count. Pitch, breaking pitch from Jordan, a little off kilter. Shane Drolet in scoring position, 90 feet away. Ballard's going to hit a chopper over to the shortstop, charging in hard. They'll make the play over at first, and they'll get it on a 6-3 putout. An athletic play by Kevin Rowland, the shortstop by Cowley. And that negates Drolet being the 4th run of the ballgame for the Scotties. Instead, a leadoff man getting on doesn't come to fruition on the tune of any runs for Highland in the bottom half of the 4th inning. So 4 innings in the books here at Highland Community Ballpark, and the Scotties trail at 8-3 as they're down to Cowley here on the Scotties Sports Network.
Stories about college debt and what it is doing not only to the student who borrowed the money, but also to families who co-signed those loans. You may have concern about your own college future. Check out the difference it makes to attend Highland Community College before transferring to a four-year institution. Going to Highland will save you thousands of dollars in college expense. Literally, you'll be able to start your life after college without the burden of debt that is impacting so many families. Check it out at highlandcc.edu. Highland Community College. From here, you can see anywhere.
Highland's new precision agriculture program was designed for the farmer or related farm worker of the future. The future arrived quickly. Today's agricultural work goes beyond the field and barn to the computer, the satellite, the drone, the research lab. Aligning all these aspects precisely for the individual, field, and crop is provided by Highland's Precision Ag program. Centered in Baileyville at the College Western Center, this program can provide you with experience in understanding and applying modern farming methods. Check it out.
Well, 4 innings officially in the books now here on the Scotty Sports Network on this Saturday afternoon. Mike Smith alongside with you for today's baseball action. Highland Community College playing host to Cowley College. Cowley 26-8 on the year. Highland 12-20 on this season. Scotty's looking to find some offense in this showdown. Just 3 runs managed for Highland thus far today. And Justin Reschick has struggled at times over the course of this contest on the mound and gave up a grand slam. That's being the biggest difference in this showdown. 8-3 lead, Cowley on top, and they'll have Kenny Rowland leading off the inning for themselves. Cowley has scored in every half inning but 1 thus far. 3 in the first, 1 in the second, and 4 in the fourth. This one popped up out towards center field and gone. Wow, out to perhaps one of the deepest parts of the ballpark. Kenny Rowland tattoos one out of play. I thought that one might not make it out, and Jordan Henning was in pursuit, but it nonetheless does take a trip out of the ballpark. And Justin Reschick is approaching 100 pitches in this contest. That was his 95th, I believe. But solo home run. And pitching coach Alex Cox calling time to talk with Justin Reschick. And looks like Reschick is going to, call it a ball game here in the top half of the 5th inning. So just 1 batter into the 4th. They'll go officially 4 innings of work. We'll give you Justin Reschick's final numbers in a moment and to tell you, of course, new pitcher on top of that. But 4 innings pitched, 9 runs all earned given up here today by Justin Reschick. 10 hits overall. Also giving up a few free passes, 4 walks, and 4 strikeouts in this contest. And Scotty's Skylar Zirkle will come in and take over on the mound for Highland. So, Skylar Zirkle, your new pitcher for Highland, as Justin Reschick again goes 4 innings and 1 batter, but gives up a couple of home runs in his last opportunities for himself on the mound, really, and that's what has extended the lead to a 9-3 advantage as Cowley leads it here in the top half of the 5th inning. So Skylar Zirkle making his way onto the mound. Zirkle, freshman from Tecumseh, Kansas, making his 7th appearance of the year. 7 1/3 innings pitched prior to today. He struggled giving up some runs during that time frame. But the right-handed pitcher trying to work things out, trying to find his spot in the bullpen for the Scotties here this year. Scotties giving up the 9 runs here today. They've been giving up about 9 runs per contest this season. Some early offense has been garnered by many opponents. Highland's early offense mostly has come in the first 4 innings itself as well, scoring north of 30 runs in each of the first 4 innings over the course of the year. So first batter will be the number 9 spot that Zirkle faces, and that is a gentleman that's 0 for 2 thus far today, and he shows bunt and takes a first pitch strike. That's Carson Sater, the second baseman for Cowley. Carson struck out looking his last time up, hit a fly ball out to left field as well. Nobody out, top of the 5th, and a 9-3 advantage. And Sater fouls that off for an 0-2 count. (0-2) delivery on the way from the new pitcher, Skylar Zirkle. Is it called? Strike 3. And Sater down on strikes looking for the second time in this ball game. 5th strikeout for Scotty pitchers on the day. Zirkle comes in and gets out number 1 on the first batter that he faces. Now he goes back to the top half of the order where a lot of damage has been done for Cowley here today for their 9 runs. With the home run in this inning, that is now 4 extra base hits in the ball game, 2 doubles and 2 home runs. First pitch strike from Zirkle, who comes in firing into the strike zone. Chopper here to the shortstop, played off the high hop by Drolet, and Shane fires over to first for out number 2. 6-3 on the putout. A couple of quick pitches there from Zirkle and getting out number 2, and now to Kevon Edwards. Edwards 1 for 2 with a run scored and a walk. 2 away now, top of the 5th inning. Scotty's down by 6. Edwards sharply hit it over to the third baseman. Watson fields it, fires over to first, and makes it look routine there. So Zirkle comes in and gets a strikeout and a couple of ground ball outs and quickly gets out of the 5th inning after the solo home run by Kenny Rowland led off the frame against starting pitcher Justin Reschick. That makes it a 9-3 advantage. Cowley on top. Scotty's will head to the bats with Mason Nagel, Chris Procopio, and Jackson Rico due up here in the bottom half of the 5th.
Highland Community College surprises a lot of people. Generally thought as one of the smallest, Highland is actually in the middle of the 19 Kansas community colleges in enrollment. Its Highland campus has a real college feel with housing, athletics, student organizations, theater, concerts, art shows, an operating farm, and distinctive academic programs in its regional centers that cover the college's 9-county service area in northeast Kansas. Viticulture, enology, precision agriculture, diesel, construction technology, early childhood. Check it out, Highland Community College, online at highlandcc.edu. What is it that stays with Highland alums that make them want to come back and work there? Almost 40 Scotty alums are now Scotty employees, and that number increases every year. Highland President David Rice encourages and supports those who work there with a simple philosophy. You're hired to do a job, do it well. Supporting folks to do their jobs encourages them to meet Rice's simple but high standards. Consequently, Highland faculty, staff, and administration are all part of a supportive culture that helps each other do their jobs well. Check it out, Highland Community College, online at highlandcc.edu.
Leading off here for the Scotties is Mason Nagel in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Mason trying to set something in motion offensively for Highland. Kept this ballgame tight early on despite giving up 3 runs to open up the contest. They answered with 2 runs in that bottom half of the first. This sharply hit over to the first baseman and caught on a rope that time from Mason Nagel, shooting one right to first. And that'll be out number 1 here in the bottom half of the 5th. But after the Scotties answered by sending 7 to the plate in the bottom half of the first inning and scoring 2, not much has happened offensively since then outside of the 1 run in the 3rd. They only had 1 hit since the first. Chris Procopio has one of the 3 hits for the Scotties in this showdown. Scotties were out hit 30-12, I think it was, in the doubleheader against Cowley on the road earlier this week. Procopio misfiring on the first pitch that he saw for strike 1. Chris has been on base twice so far today. He's been hit by a pitch and had that single back in the first inning. Been playing well as Procopio had hit or 2 in the series against Cowley at Cowley. Now 1-1 with 1 out, bottom of the 5th inning. Brandon Jordan continues to be on the mound. This one is going to go find the gap between the shortstop and the third baseman and get into left field. And Procopio's got himself a multi-hit day. So Procopio with the 2-hit contest, his 5th multi-hit game of the season. Jackson Rico came to the plate last time with the bases loaded. He comes to the plate this time with 1 on and 1 out. Rico reached on an error his last time, and the pitcher got that little ground ball out that he hit, or it looked like a ground ball routine out, and threw it home to try to keep Scotty's from scoring a run. Did not happen because it was an error, a bad throw behind the pitcher in that situation, and Highland got their 3rd run of the game. Rico takes the strike, and count now 1-1 to the Scotty DH. Jackson's other at-bat was a walk today, back in the 1st inning. And pitch stays high. Now 2-1 to Jackson Rico. Chris Procopio over at first on the single with 1 away. Now 3-1. That pitch low and outside. Rico's worked himself to a full count. He did that earlier in the contest and drew the walk in the 1st. Jordan continues to rack up his pitches. We'll have to look at his number in a moment, but Rico chops it foul on the third base side. Tyler Watson in the on-deck circle. Tyler 0 for 2 performance here today at the plate. Did have a really solid glove play at third base defensively. And Rico doesn't chase after it. It'll be ball 4, base on balls for the 2nd time for Jackson Rico in this ball game. And Jackson Rico with his 4th and 5th walk of the year brings up Tyler Watson with 2 on and 1 out. Watson had a sharply hit ball to center field, deep center at that, on a liner. Time called with Dalton Dinkle, the catcher for Cowley, headed out to talk with his pitcher. Now the manager headed out of the dugout on the first base side to talk with Braden Jordan. It looks like we may have a pitching change at the moment. So Jordan will head out of this contest, and a new pitcher will come in for Cowley. And, well, Jordan's line will go 4 1/3 innings of work officially in the matchup. He gives up 3 runs, all earned, on 3 hits. Give you the new pitcher in just a moment, but finish the stat line here with 4 walks and 5 strikeouts for Braden Jordan for Cowley. New pitcher, Jared Wilson from Kansas City, Missouri, will be coming in here with 1 out in the bottom half of the 5th inning. He inherits a couple of runners as well, so obviously Jordan's final stat line is not tied up with a bow quite yet, as if Scotties were able to scratch either guy across in Procopio or Rico, then they would add to the stat line of runs given up by the starter Jordan, who's in line for the win. As of right now, unless the Scotties can mount the comeback, down by 6, they're obviously running out of some opportunities with their bats in this showdown, but 6-run lead, the largest of this ball game at any juncture. Led by 3 going into the bottom of the 1st inning before the Scotties even got their first at bat, did Cowley. Scotties cut that lead to 1 with 2 runs in the bottom half of the 1st inning on a couple of hits and a couple of walks as well. Cowley then got a run back in the top half of the 2nd inning. Couple of walks at batsman, error, and a single, all coming to fruition for at least 1 run there. Highland went down in order in the bottom half of the 2nd inning, but got a run in the 3rd inning to cut the lead back to 1 again at 4-3. Single, walk, a hit batsman, and error brought in the run for Highland in that 3rd inning. then things opened up and went Cowley's way heavily in the 4th and 5th. Grand slam, 4 total hits in the inning, including obviously the grand slam by Kevin Rowland to plate 4, then a solo home run by Kenny Rowland in the 5th. Tyler Watson gets a good piece of it, and Watson's going to put it out of play. Tyler Watson. Now, Tyler Watson tattoos one on the first pitch delivered by the new pitcher, Jared Wilson. It is out of the ballpark for a home run. Tyler Watson hitting one over the right field fence. Watson, his first home run of the season, and it helps the Scotties have some life offensively in this showdown, cutting the lead in half. All of a sudden, the Scotties, outlook looked maybe a little bit bleak in this ball game, being down by 6. Not an insurmountable lead, but obviously, a lot of work to take, and you get half of that work drawn from just one delivery that time on a 3-run homer. This one's put up into the air, too, and misplayed out in center field. Here goes Jerry Alcantara. He's headed off the bag at number 2, and he's headed into third. Alcantara slides in, and he is safe at third. Jerry Alcantara finds himself with a hit after the 3-run bomb by Tyler Watson. Alcantara delivers his 6th hit of the year, and it's his 2nd triple of the season. And not an ideal start to a pitcher coming out of the bullpen. You give up a home run, and then a triple follows suit after that. So you can add 2 more runs to the stat line as well for the starter, Braden Jordan, as he has given up 5 runs now. And, of course, the pitcher that entered the fold, Jared Wilson, has already given up a run of his own as well. 3 spot here in the bottom half of the 5th inning. Scotty's best offensive inning at that. Shane Drolet laying off the last pitch. First pitch that he saw was a strike, so the count is 1-1 to the shortstop for Highland. Alcantara scoring position at third base. Only 1 out. Drolet fouled that pitch off. Drolet was hit by a pitch his last time up to get on base, but looking for a hit, which would be his 18th of the season. One-two delivery on the way from Wilson. Down low and into the dirt for ball 2. So both teams go to the bullpen in the 5th. Starters make it into the 5th inning of action, but Justin Reese goes officially 4 innings. Braden Jordan went 4 1/3. 9-6. Cowley leading it only by 3. 2-2 the count to Drolet. Fouled off the last pitch. Drolet swings through it. Drop strike 3. They'll have to throw down to first, and they will. And Drolet will be out number 2. And we go to the top of the order. This is the 7th different gentleman for the Scotties to come to the plate, just like the first inning. 7 different guys went to the plate as well, but the Scotties have scored 3 in this inning. They scored 2 back in the first, also 1 in the third. Hadn't got only but 1 hit since the first inning until this frame. Of course, they've hit and gotten 3 hits in this inning. Henning takes inside, ball 1. Jordan 0 for 2 with the sacrifice bunt his last time up. 1-0 delivery is low, ball 2. Sway Ortiz in the on-deck circle, wanting to crack at it as well, but Jordan Henning would have to find a way to get a hit here in this situation. Pulled it foul on the first base side, now 2-1. Scotties have cut the lead in half, trailing by 6 entering the bottom half of the 5th inning. Now 3-run deficit. After Tyler Watson highlighting the bottom half of the 5th with the 3-run homer. Jerry Alcantara over at third base off the triple. And hitting outside, ball 3. Three and 1 count from relief pitcher Jared Wilson. And Wilson's 3-1 delivery comes in. Henning gets a piece of it, pulls it foul, making it a full count. Full count. Payoff pitch on the way to the center fielder for the Scotties. Jordan Henning tracks it and gets a piece of it enough to stay alive in the at-bat. So we'll do it again with the full count here for Henning. Alcantara at third, 2 outs, bottom of the 5th inning, 3 runs across for the Scotties, and Henning swings and misses. And Jordan down on strikes will end the inning, but a 3-run frame at that for the Scotties on 3 hits, including a 3-run bomb by Tyler Watson. But they leave one to the Scotties on in the base pads as well, and trail only by 3, however, after 5 full innings of action. 9-6, Cowley leads it here on the Scotty Sports Network with 5 innings in the books, as we'll go to the top of the 6th inning. We return to the Scotty Sports Network.
If you have heard stories about college debt and what it is doing not only to the student who borrowed the money, but also to families who co-signed those loans, you may have concern about your own college future. Check out the difference it makes to attend Highland Community College before transferring to a 4-year institution. Going to Highland will save you thousands of dollars in college expense. Literally, you'll be able to start your life after college without the burden of debt that is impacting so many families. Check it out at highlandcc.edu. Highland Community College. From here, you can see anywhere.
Highland's new precision agriculture program was designed for the farmer or related farm worker of the future. The future arrived quickly. Today's agricultural work goes beyond the field and barn to the computer, the satellite, the drone, the research lab. Aligning all these aspects precisely for the individual, field, and crop is provided by Highland's Precision Ag program. Centered in Baileyville at the College Western Center, this program can provide you with experience in understanding and applying modern farming methods. Check it out.
Well, the Scotties put themselves right back in this ball game in the bottom half of the 5th inning when they score 3 on a 3-run homer by Tyler Watson, his first bomb of the year for Watson, and that gets the Scotties to within 3 at 9-6 as they try to claw back into this showdown against Cowley College. Top half the 6th inning, we worked ourselves to. Alex Peterson is the first batter to lead things off in this one. It's ball 1 from Scotty relief pitcher Skylar Zirkle. Peterson obviously been a tough out for Highland. 2 for 2 day with 3 trips on the base pads. He was hit by a pitch. His other one, that one went shooting right over to the third base dugout. Alex Cox, one of the coaches for Highland, ducking out of the way, running. Hit the top half of the guard railing that's right there to protect the dugout. 1-1 the count. To Peterson. Like I said, he was hit by a pitch, and he's got a pair of hits. 2 for 2 day officially with a pair of runs scored. Cowley leads at 9-6. Tigers have led throughout the entirety of this first game, and Peterson is hit by a pitch for the second time in this game. We've seen multiple hit batsmen over the course of the contest. That's 2, both were Peterson, coincidentally, for Cowley. And on the side of Highland, a couple of guys hit by a pitch as well in today's matchup. Both starting pitchers surrendered 4 walks and 1 hit batsman apiece. Actually, for Jordan, it was 2 hit batsmen. First pitch ball to Grady Davenport, who is 2 for 2 today also. Him and Peterson has been the gentlemen that have spearheaded the offense for Cowley today, and I have a feeling throughout the course of the season based on the statistics as well. Now 2-0 the count to Davenport, the right fielder for Cowley. Got a double and a single and a run scored and a walk. 2-0 delivery in for a strike from Zirkle. Skylar came in and made light work of Cowley's bats when he took over for Justin Reshik, the starter for Highland. Skylar, first 3 batters he faced, he retired on a strikeout and a pair of ground ball outs, and then obviously hit Peterson to open up this inning as he comes inside with that last pitch for ball 3. We're in the top of the 6th inning. 9-6 lead. Cowley on top. Took the advantage early in this ball game with a 3 spot. Sharply hit through the shortstop and the third baseman into left field. And there's a hit, the third of the game for Davenport. And Dalton Dinkle, 1 for 3 performance with a run scored. Now coming to the plate with 2 on and nobody out. Dinkle's hit was back in the first inning. Flew out to right field and struck out since then. Peterson, Davenport on the base pads from second to first. For Cowley here in the top of the 6th inning. And Zirkle turns, looks back the runner at second. Cowley's runs have come 3 in the first, 1 in the second, 4 in the fourth, 1 in the fifth. That half inning they didn't score. They were out of the inning 1, 2, 3, which was the third. Pitch fouled off by Dinkle for strike 1. Scotty's runs have come in the first, third, and fifth innings. Had a 1, 2, 3 inning against them in the second. They did send 4 to the plate in the fourth with the leadoff man reaching, but unable to score him in that situation. 1 delivery shown bunt. This one's going to be on the first base side. Zirkle going to pick it up, firing over to second with the second baseman Keyshawn Ballard covering. And 1-4 on the putout to the sack bunt.
Now batting the shortstop, number 28, Kevin Rowland.
Moves everybody up a base pad with now both in scoring position and only 1 out as well for Cowley. Peterson and Davenport, third and second. Kevin Rowland, 1 for 3, but it's a big 1 for 3 with the grand slam. And Rowland sees Zirkle's first pitch, outside ball 1. So Rowland his second opportunity with runners in scoring position. Actually, more than that, he had runners in scoring position actually each other time he's been at the plate as well. This one past the shortstop. He'll bring in at least 1 out towards short left field. Alcantara was able to get to it relatively quick. Here comes the throw, a little offline. Won't allow the runner, however, to advance from third. It does allow Rowland to get to second. So, RBI single for Rowland. Pushes it to a 10-6 advantage. Lead at 4. Now cross factor. 1 for 3 performance today. Every spot in the lineup for Cowley today is garnered a hit except the number 9 hole. That pitch fouled off and out of play, strike 1 to the third baseman for the Tigers. Factor had his hit in the first inning. It was an RBI variety as he had a RBI single. A couple of fly ball outs with his other 2 plate appearances, 1 to center, 1 to right. 10-6 advantage. Another run across the board for Cowley. This one out towards left. Alcantara diving for, gets it, drops his hat, but he comes up with the catch and a deep fly ball out. That will be out number 2, but it's a sac fly nonetheless. So the sac fly will bring in another run. So second RBI of the day for Factor. Great catch by Alcantara out and left, but that will be out number 2. Brings in Davenport. Rowland remains at second. And at the plate, it's the other Rowland, Kenny Rowland. who has a solo home run in his last plate appearance, 1 for 2 with a walk on top of that. Rowan taking another aggressive hack at it, but comes up with an empty swing. Zirkle on the mound in relief of Justin Rechick, who went 4 innings. And Zirkle's delivery comes inside, pushes Rowan back a little bit, and 1-1 the count. Inning opened up with a hit batsman and then a single after that, sac bunt, and an RBI single, a sac fly. So effective outs for Cowley in this inning to score a couple of runs, making it an 11-6 contest. And Rowan ducks out of the way. Two and 1 now the count with 2 outs. Runner at second base. Circles 2-1 delivery on the way. Rowan chases after it and swings and misses now to even the count at 2 apiece. In the series between these two teams, Cowley has controlled it as of late, obviously winning the 2 games thus far this year, but swept the series back in 2017 as well. Cowley's won 9 in a row against the Scotties. And Roland takes ball 3 for a full count. Scotty's last win against Cowley was back in 2016, an 11-5 victory that year. 3-2 delivery on the way from Zirkle, and that'll be high, ball 4 inside, and base on balls for the second time to Kenny Rowland. First walk of the game issued by Zirkle. Second free pass because hit batsman that laid off this inning.
Now batting number 11, Pocket Dunn.
So, new batter here for Cowley. Parker Dunn taking the spot of Carson Sater. Carson officially goes 0 for 3 in the ball game. I mentioned this is the only spot in the lineup that doesn't have a hit for Cowley today. Six guys have come to the plate. This is the 7th in the inning. 11-6 lead with 2 runs across in the top of the 6th for Cowley. Zirkle's pitch outside, ball 1. Dunn, .295 batting average on the year, 18 hits for Cowley. 1-0 delivery on the way. It was a wild one that gets away. Takes a big bounce back into the field of play, but runners will trot up 90 feet apiece. So now you've got Rowland and Rowland. Kevin and Kinney in that order from third and second. 2 outs, top of the 6th inning. Scotty's cutting the lead to 3 coming into this this inning, but ultimately seeing 2 more runs come up to the plate and charging hard in foul territory and making the plays. Tyler Watson for a foul ball out down the third base line, but 2 runs across into the top half of the 6th, push the lead back out for Cowley. It's an 11-6 advantage for the Tigers over the Scotties as we go to the bottom of the 6th here on the Scotty Sports Network.
Highland Community College continues to make college more affordable. Administrated by Nelnet Business Solutions, HCC now offers payment plans. Any student taking an HCC course may finance their tuition fee and main campus housing via one of 3 different payment plans. Choose from day, evening, weekend, or online classes with one great low rate. Associate's degrees and transferable classes with financial aid and scholarships also available. Highland Community College. From here, you can see anywhere. Get all the latest news on Highland Community College athletics by checking out ScottyAthletics.com. From recaps of the latest game action, schedules, stats, player features, athletes of the week, and much more. All you need to know about Highland Community College sports at your fingertips at ScottyAthletics.com. Make sure to also follow us on Twitter at HCC Scotties and on Facebook.
$11 runs on 12 hits for Cowley in this showdown. They had double-figure hits in the other 2 games against Highland at their place, of course. They had 14 and 16 hits, if my recollection serves me right, for that action. And were able to try to take advantage of those. They took advantage of 12 hits to the tune of 11 runs. They've left 7 on base. Both teams have. Highland has 6 runs on 5 hits, 3 errors. Cowley has 2 errors for themselves here today. Josue Ortiz, Keyshawn Ballard, and Mason Nagel due up in the bottom half of the 6th. 1-1 the count to Josue. He found the last pitch off. Josue 0 for 2 with the walk and takes it low for ball 2 that time. He did score a run off the walk back in the first inning. Scotty's played it 2. They found some offense in that 5th inning off the 3-run homer by Tyler Watson. Josue is going to shoot one over to the shortstop and misplayed by the shortstop. It goes out to left center field. Josue will get himself on base and what should be ruled an error off the shortstop that time. Right through his 5-hole, and a play that looked relatively routine by the shortstop. And indeed it is ruled that error on the shortstop that time. So the 3rd error of the ball game now on Cowley allows Highland to garner an early base runner, but the Scotties down 5 spot. And we may see a pitching change. Manager for Cowley headed out and looking over towards the bullpen where a Tiger has been warming up, and a new pitcher on the way entering the fold. So didn't go too long for Jared Wilson on the mound. Wilson will actually pitch just officially 2/3 of an inning as he came in with 1 out back in the 4th. And he gives up 1 run, which was earned on 2 hits, and recorded 2 strikeouts. Of course, the latest runner reaching on an error against him in this point. So, a new pitcher, Ryan Westerhoff, coming to the mound to take over for this team here. Westerhoff is a freshman righty from Edmond, Oklahoma. Be the 3rd different guy on the mound for Cowley College. Look at Westerhoff's numbers thus far. It'll be his 14th appearance, 16 1/3 innings with a 2.2 ERA, 25 Ks to just 4 walks on the season. He's only given up 13 hits in his 16 1/3 innings of work. Does have 5 saves also, so he might be in for the rest of the contest the way it looks at this point. One other guy has 2 saves, and gentleman that actually started this game, Brandon Jordan, also has a save as well. But what I'm going to assume with 5 saves, he's the primary guy to close out ball games is Ryan Westerhoff, the righty freshman, taking over as the 3rd different pitcher in this ball game, and does so with 1 on Nobody out in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Josue Ortiz reaching on the E6 to open up the 6th inning. Scotty's down by a 5 spot, however. Keyshawn Ballard, the guy you'd want to come to the plate, though, when you're trying to ignite the offense. Keyshawn, 2 for 3 performance with a pair of runs. Another multi-hit game for him again, which again is his 12th of the season. That one down in that ball 1. Second pitch on the way from Westerhoff. Ballard's going to hit it over to the shortstop. And again, right through the legs from Rowan. Olays it once more. And this is a bad half inning defensively for the gentleman who hit a grand slam in the game. But he's made back-to-back errors. I mean, right through his legs. Mason Nagel now will come to the play. Back-to-back bad plays over at shortstop. Glove just didn't ever even get down all the way to the dirt in that situation. And back-to-back plays where it reaches on an error. And Mason Nagel takes called strike 1. Mason does have an RBI in the day. 0 for 1 performance overall on a line out that was ripped over to the first baseman. His last time up, he drew a walk and a sac fly for the RBI back in the first, and Nagel swings over the top of a pitch that breaks in. Mason now down the count 0-2 quickly. Nobody out. Top half of, or the bottom half of the 6th inning, excuse me. And pitch from Westerhoff is high outside, ball 1. So Mason with a pair of guys on, and Ortiz and Ballard, second and first respectively. Nobody out. Scotty's down by a 5 spot. Been hanging tough throughout the course of the contest, despite falling down by as many as 6 and facing the 5-run deficit that they have right now. 2-2 the count to the Scotty first baseman, Mason Nagel. Westerhoff continues to go against Nagel here, and Mason fouls it off. So we'll do the 2-2 count again. First game of the doubleheader. Not too bad outside today overall with the temperatures that it is. You know, warming up to around 40 degrees here in Highland. Nagel gets a piece of it again. He's going to shoot it up sky high into the air down the third base line in pursuit and in foul territory. Able to be tracked down. So, foul ball, fly out to the left fielder down the third base line. Just foul ultimately, but not allowing any advancement of the base runners, and it is out number 1. Still an opportunity, though, for the Scotties with Chris Procopio coming to the plate, who's had a solid game. Him and Keyshawn Ballard both with 2 hits in this contest for the Scotties. And Procopio takes a first pitch strike. So the Scotties trying to get some offense rolling in this one. I gave Procopio a pair of hits and Ballard a pair of hits, but Ballard apparently only with 1. So I stand corrected on his multi-hit day. It was ruled an error, by the way, actually, previously. And Procopio swings and misses, and down on strikes he goes. That's 2 outs. And what looked like a prime opportunity to score. So again, a little correction on the statistical categories. Keyshawn Ballard with only 1 hit today. He reached on an error twice. And Procopio does have 2 hits, but swing and a miss that time by Jackson Rico. And Jackson's been on base 3 times. He's drawn 2 walks and scored a run the last time he drew the walk back in the 5th inning. I was on the 3-run homer by Tyler Watson, who was in the on-deck circle. reached on an error his last time up. Rico makes a connection there and down the third base line and will turn third. Here comes the runner in Josue, and Ortiz will come in to score for the Scotties. And the Scotties take advantage of the 2 errors to open up the inning by the shortstop and get 1 run out of the ordeal at least. So Jackson Rico with an RBI hit, and Jackson brings Tyler Watson to the plate, who put 1 out of the ballpark a little while ago. 9th hit and 8th RBI of the season for Jackson Rico just a moment ago. Watson took ball 1, and delivery now by Westerhoffen. Swung on a miss, got away, and then just a non-foul ball, allowing the base runner to advance up. Bauer now moves to third. Rico at second. And 1-1 the count to the Scotty third baseman, Tyler Watson. 6th guy to come to the plate for the Scotties in this inning. Highland with a run across, making it an 11-7 contest, down by 4 here in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Pitch off the plate, good block that time by Dinkle, and it's ball 2. Two 2-1 on the way is low, ball 3, and Watson with the 3-1 count in his favor. Only drawn a couple of walks on the season, Tyler has, but walk would be beneficial here to load the bases, and there it is, the base on balls. But stand corrected. Watson was halfway down the line when he heard a strike call. I thought I heard the umpire say strike, but I was looking at Watson thinking that he was right with ball 4, but not the case. It's strike 2 and a full count. And then Watson lays it past the shortstop's glove and in towards left fielder. Then it's booted by the left fielder. Here comes another run in, and Watson will head to second. Well, you take that instead of the walk because it's a hit and an RBI. And also 2 runs coming in after a misplay out in left field. And there comes Jerry Alcantara, who had a triple his last time up. And the Scotties now all of a sudden score 3, back within 2. Right back into this contest again. So Tyler Watson in there to get that to come in. Scoring on the error, by the way, was Jackson Rico, which will be an E7. Swing a miss by Alcantara. So Watson at second in scoring position with 2 outs for the Scotties, but they've scored 3, down 11-9. Alcantara 1 for 3 performance, 0 for 0-2 count. The ball gets away, doesn't even know where it is. This is Dinkle, and now advancing to third is Watson. Dinkle didn't see where it went. It trickled its way back to the backstop on the third base side. By the time Dinkle was able to notice it, he was able to advance for Tyler Watson to third. Good heads-up play by Jerry Alcantara as well to tell Watson to pursue moving to third. And Alcantara, that one dropped strike 3. Jerry's going to try to beat out the throw, but well down there in time, and that will be it for the 6th inning. Strikeout by Alcantara ends the frame, but the Scotties right back in it again. Down, of course, by 5 going into the half inning. Well, they get 3 in that situation to ultimately make it a 2-run contest. Scotties trying to hold on and trying to mount the comeback. They'll try to do it in walk-off fashion, but they need to hold for the 2-run deficit entering the top half of the 7th. 11-9, Cowley leads it over Highland here on the Scotty Sports Network.
If you have heard stories about college debt and what it is doing not only to the student who borrowed the money, but also to families who co-signed those loans, you may have concern about your own college future. Check out the difference it makes to attend Highland Community College before transferring to a four-year institution. Going to Highland will save you thousands of dollars in college expense. Literally, you'll be able to start your life after college without the burden of debt that is impacting so many families. Check it out at highlandcc.edu. Highland Community College. From here, you can see anywhere.
What is it that stays with Highland alums that make them want to come back and work there? Almost 40 Scotty alums are now Scotty employees, and that number increases every year. Highland President David Rice encourages and supports those who work there with a simple philosophy. You're hired to do a job, do it well. Supporting folks to do their jobs encourages them to meet Rice's simple but high standards. Consequently, Highland faculty, staff, and administration are all part of a supportive culture that helps each other do their jobs well. Check it out, Highland Community College, online at highlandcc.edu.
Scotties continue to claw back into this ball game against Cowley. Cowley's has had opportunities to extend the lead. They had a 6-run lead. They had a 5-run lead entering the bottom half of the 6th inning. But Highland claws back with 3 more runs for themselves, makes it an 11-9 contest, and right back into it as well again is Highland at this point. They'll need to blank Cowley here in this half inning to make sure the deficit only stands at 2 entering the bottom half of the frame. Skylar Zirkle returns on the mound and delivers the first pitch ball to the top of the order. Devin Beard leading off the inning. Beard 1 for 3 performance overall with a pair of runs scored with the walk. And Zirkle skips one to the plate, ball 2. Zirkle came in and got 3 outs consecutively in the 5th when he took over for starter Justin Reshake. But then some situations unfolded in the 6th inning. The hit batsman to open up the frame, a single following suit, sac bunt, RBI single, and a sac fly to score 2 runs. Also another walk after that. But 3-0 the count from Zirkle to Beard. And it's Edwards and Peterson after that. Peterson and Davenport both haven't been retired as outs here today. They've been on base 4 times. And 3-0 deliveries in for a strike. Now 3-1. So Highland only down 2, 11-9. Scotty's trying to claw right back into it. Ball 4 on the 3-1 delivery. And third free pass issued by Skylar Zirkle. Chris Procopio wants to go talk with his pitcher Skylar Zirkle as Kevon Edwards will dig in. Edwards is 1 for 3 with a run scored and a walk. Ground ball out and a strikeout. Was also caught stealing one time. Nobody out, top of the 7th inning. Beard over at first for Cowley as they lead it 11-9. Cowley has scored every half inning but 1. At least 1 run in every half inning, with 3 in the 1st and 4 in the 4th and 2 in the 6th. 1 run in the 2nd and the 5th. And that one's going to find the hole out towards right center field, thinking 2, but he hits the brakes and will go first to third for Beard, but settle for the single for Kevon Edwards. So now runners at the corners, nobody out right now for Cowley. And Alex Peterson coming to the plate, and he's a guy that scored 3 of the 11 runs for Cowley. 2-hit batsman and 2 hits. Two for 2 overall for Peterson, with this other 2 trips, as I mentioned, both being hit by a pitch to reach base. Scoring 3 of the 4 times on the base pads as well. And Peterson takes inside, ball 1. One-0 delivery on the way from Zirkle is in for strike at the knees. And now 1-1. Scotty's drawing to within 2. This is closest they've been since it was 4-3. That was after, of course, the third inning. Trying to claw all the way back in this one and take their first lead, which would be ultimately winning the ball game at that. Time called, and stepping out of the batter's box is the left fielder, Alex Peterson. 1-1 the count to Peterson with runners at the corners. Nobody out. Top of the 7th, and time called again. Procopio trotting out to talk with Zirkle. Crucial situation for the Scotties right now. You don't want to have the deficit increase before you get your final at bat here in game number 1. One delivery. Zirkle sets up, fires it in there, and fouled off out of play. One and 2. Now to Peterson. Beard led off the inning with a walk. He's at third. Edwards with the single over at first. 1-2 delivery on the way. A pitch high. Peterson's putting it out towards right field. Josue Ortiz in pursuit. And it bounces off there, and it's going to be a fair ball that is played by Ortiz. Ortiz picking that up, and I don't know if that, I thought it bounced off the fence and Ortiz caught it then, but home plate umpire basically just said fair ball and let it play out, and headed towards second was Peterson with a run coming in, but Cowley wants an explanation on that play, and I probably in the same boat with him, wanting an explanation on which way you're going to call it at that scenario. So, well, not a home run, home plate umpire says. So we'll go down as an RBI double. So, RBI double makes it a 3-run game, 12-9, and now manager Alex Cox wants a little bit of conversation. Coach Cox out there to talk to his pitcher, Skylar Zirkle, and Chris Procopio, the catcher, as well. Nobody out here in the top half of the 7th inning. And again, apparently it looked like it went off of the top of the fence over out in right field, which would have thought maybe that would have been a home run in that scenario, but not the case. And home plate umpire says it's just a fair ball, play on, and it was turning out to be a double. So nobody out here in the top of the 7th inning. 12-9 lead now as one run across the board on the Alex Peterson extra base hit, which is a double, his second of the game, third hit overall. His first RBI, however. Grady Davenport digs in. He's been a gentleman that obviously hasn't been able to be garnered to be out, and takes a first pitch strike. 3-hit day for himself, 3 for 3 with 2 runs scored and a walk. He's got 2 guys on the base pads in front of him with nobody out as well. And Zirkle's pitch is outside, ball 1 to move the count to 1-1. So Edwards, Peterson, third and second respectively. Nobody out. Top half of the 7th inning, and another run across the board for Cowley. They've scored 1 run again in every half inning but 1. Lead it by 3, 12-9. Pitch high and inside, ball 2. Scotties, when they come to the plate in the 7th inning, will have Drolet, Henning, and Ortiz due up unless any changes to the lineup. But still got to get 3 outs to get to that point. With 2 on and 1 already across, now facing a 3-run deficit. Hit over to the third baseman. Watson can't play it cleanly and into left field. They're going to bring in 1. Here comes the throw from Alcantara, but not going to be in time for any play at home. He goes to second instead and keeps the runner at first on 2 RBI single.
Now batting the catcher number 2, Dalton Dinkle.
So the lead been cut down to 2 coming into this inning, and now the Scotties see the lead and deficit that they face growing back to 5, 14-9 lead. Skylar Zirkle will come out of the contest. Zirkle officially will go 2 innings of work, but come out here in the top half of the 7th. Faced 4 batters in the 7th inning, all reaching safely. 3 hits and a 1 walk during that time frame. But Skylar Zirkle goes 2 innings with giving up 5 runs. All earned, by the way, on 5 hits, 2 walks, 1 strikeout. Also 1 hit batsman during his time frame on the mound. Scotty's new pitcher coming in, Jake Clevenger. Jake will look to try to get out of this inning for the Scotties on the season. He's making his 6th appearance. 6 innings pitched as well prior here to today. What's going on? BJ Smith joining me for the contest now. Scotty's trailing it. They trail by 5 at the moment. Entered the inning only down by 2, but we've given up 3 runs here in this top half of the 7th inning. Scotty's bats have been there and been able to keep them in this ball game throughout the course of today, but unfortunately they have been able to hold the deficit down to just a few runs. It's pushed back up and as high as 6, up to 5 again for the 2nd time now in this point. Scotty's going with their 3rd pitcher, trying to get out of the top half of the 7th inning, then bring the bats back for one final time, but I'll have to do the tune of scoring 5 runs at least in the bottom of the 7th inning instead of just the 2-run deficit that they faced coming into the 7th. And Dalton Dinkle, the catcher, digs in. He's 1 for 3 today with the sacrifice bunt. Scored a run as well. So 3 more runs across here in the top half of the 7th inning after a leadoff walk, a single, RBI double, and then a 2 RBI single as well for Cowley. First pitch ball on the way to Dinkle. Pitch goes low as well for ball 2. Over the course of the contest here, Cowley now with 15 hits to produce their 14 runs. Left 7 on base. Scotties have stranded 8. Scored 9 runs on 7 hits. 8 errors in the game overall. 5 on Cowley's side. 3 for the Scotties today. Dinkle puts one out towards left field on a little chopper. Alcantara kind of eats him up, but there's another single.
Now batting the shortstop number 28, Kevin Rowland.
Kevin Rowland coming to the plate. Kevin, he had a couple of errors over at shortstop, but he had a big at-bat earlier in the contest, hitting a grand slam, plating the 4 runs in the 4th inning. And that's really what put this game solidly in Cowley's favor at that point. It was only a 1-run game at that point until the grand slam. Pitch gets away. Procopio does play it off the hop. They'll make the throw down to second, and unable to be fielded cleanly by Ballard. Ballard, if he would have been able to pick that throw by Procopio, may have been able to swipe the tag and unsuccessfully able to accomplish that feat, moving the runners around. It's also ball 1 to the shortstop. He had that grand slam, but he also had an RBI single his last time up, so 5 ribbies today now for Kevin Rowland. Also 2 more guys standing out there in front of him with nobody out in the top half of the 7th inning. Now 2-0. Offense has been spread out throughout the day, of course, for Cowley throughout the lineup. And ball 3 now to Rowland. Free passes have been given up by the Scotties. 6 walks by the 2 previous pitchers, and now a couple hit batsmen on top of that. Of course, racking up about 16 total hits for Cowley here in Game 1. On top of that, 3-1 deliveries in there for a strike. Still nobody out here in the top half of the 7th. After the leadoff walk, it's been 4 consecutive hits for Cowley, and now it's a walk. So 6 consecutive batters reach safely to open up the 7th inning, and 3 runs across the board already. The bases are loaded for Cowley now, and 14-9 lead. The deficit sits at 5 for the Scotties. Cross factor set to dig in for Cowley, and Cross takes a strike. Won the count from Clev. Factor today, the third baseman for Cowley, just with 1 hit, a couple of RBIs. Got one on a sacrifice fly, sharply hit over to Drolet. Opportunity for double play. They'll fire over to first and safe at first. Oh, 6-4 for 1. And beating out the throw apparently was Cross Factor to reach on the fielder's choice. Does score a run as well. Grady Davenport coming in because the bases were loaded in that situation. But you're hoping for the double play. At least you get 2 and trade 2 outs for 1 run at that point. But now runners at the corners. And only 1 out in the top half of the 7th. Kenny Rowland, 1 for 2 performance with a pair of walks, the solo home run. Hit it over to Ballard at second. He'll just apply the tag and then fire over to first for the double play. So 4-3 double play on the tag applied over the runner at first. We're going to second, and that will end the top half of the 7th inning. But 8 come to the plate, and 4 runs come across the board for Cowley. And what was a 2-run deficit for the Scotties is now 6, 15-9. Highland trails it going in to the bottom of the 7th inning here on the Scotty Sports Network.
Highland Community College continues to make college more affordable. Administrated by Nelnet Business Solutions, HCC now offers payment plans. Any student taking an HCC course may finance their tuition fee and main campus housing via one of 3 different payment plans. Choose from day, evening, weekend, or online classes with one great low rate. Associate's degrees and transferable classes with financial aid and scholarships also available. Highland Community College. From here, you can see anywhere. Highland Community College surprises a lot of people. Generally thought as one of the smallest, Highland is actually in the middle of the 19 Kansas community colleges in enrollment. Its Highland campus has a real college feel with housing, athletics, student organizations, theater, concerts, art shows, an operating farm, and distinctive academic programs in its regional centers that cover the college's 9-county service area in northeast Kansas. Viticulture, enology, precision agriculture, diesel, construction technology, early childhood. Check it out, Highland Community College, online at highlandcc.edu.
Well, the Scotties looked like they were in a prime position to be right back in this ball game, and that they were. They were only down by 2, 11-9, entering the top half of the 7th inning. But Cowley puts more distance between them and Highland right now with a 15-9 lead entering the bottom half of the 7th inning. So Scotties have a lot more work now standing in front of them if they want to mount the comeback in this showdown as they trail in this affair to Cowley, now by a 6-run deficit. 4-run spot put up in the top of the 7th inning to push the lead back to the largest that it's been in this contest at any one point over the course of the day. And Shane Drolet will try to get things in motion offensively for the Scotties. Drolet officially 0 for 2 with a hit by a pitch in this contest and takes ball 1, his first opportunity seen here. Westerhoff continues to be on the mound for Cowley. Drolet hits a deep fly ball out towards left, backtracking a couple steps in front of the fence to track it down, and has out number 1. Out there in left field, Alex Peterson howls at home. Peterson has been one of the active bats, him and Grady Davenport. 5 plate appearances and 5 trips to the base pads. Whether it be by a hit by a pitch, a walk, or a hit between those two. They've been on base 10 times. First pitch delivery is strike 1 to Jordan Henning. Henning 0 for 3 with a sac bunt. 1 away here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. And Westerhoff's pitch low and inside, now 1-1. Josue Ortiz in the on-deck circle. He scored a couple of runs, but hasn't garnered a hit here today. Henning going to get this one, and this one's going to find the gap out to right center field. Jordan Henning got himself a single. He turns first, heavy, but pulls back for just a single. Jordan's first hit of the ball game comes here in the bottom half of the 7th inning. Josue Ortiz. Josue, 2 runs scored, a walk, reached on an error last time at the plate. That led off the 6th inning where they scored 3 runs, did the Scotties, to get within 2 at that point. And Ortiz over the top of it, swing and a miss. Jordan Henning over at first, 1 away, bottom of the 7th. And Ortiz lays off that pitch as it's outside. Now 1-1. Cowley got on the board early, 4 hits, couple of walks. Pitch gets away from Dinkle, and now Henning will trot into second in scoring position. But Cowley scored 3 runs in the top half of the first inning by batting around and having 4 hits, a couple of walks thrown in there, and error by Highland as well helped those 3 runs come across. Scotties were down 3-0 before they had an opportunity to swing the bat, and then 2 runs came across for Highland with 2 walks and a pair of singles in the bottom half of the first inning, making it 3-2. Josue swings and misses, and strike 2 to move the count to full, I believe. Full count. Yeah, 3-2. Payoff pitch to Ortiz is ball 4. So Ortiz draws the base on balls for the 2nd time in the ball game. And we'll head down to first to continue the inning for the Scotties with just 1 out. And Keyshawn Ballard, who I said had a multi-hit game, but only has 1 hit according to the official scorebook. It was ruled an error earlier when I went ahead and gave him a hit. So he's reached on an error a couple of times. Ballard has been on base 3 of the 4 times at the plate. And 2 on, standing in front of Ballard right now. Keyshawn goes after the first pitch that he sees from Westerhoff there and swings and misses. So after 1 inning of action, it was 3-2. Cowley sends 6 to the plate in the top half of the second to score another on a couple of walks, a hit batsman, and a single. Chopper here to the third baseman. Going to fire over to first. Ballard out by about a step, and 5-3 to be out number 2. Everybody else moves up a base pad. Henning and Ortiz now at third and second, but Scotty's going to have to do the damage of scoring runs with 2 outs as Mason Nagel will dig in. Mason with an RBI, but 0 for 2 overall with a walk in the game. And has 2 outs in front of him with 2 on here in the 7th. So after 2 innings of work, it was 4-2, in favor of Cowley. Scotty's then blanked Cowley with a 1-2-3 inning in the third. Then in the bottom half of the third inning would score a run on a couple of errors, a hit batsman, and a walk as Nagel shoots it up into the air. And this one should be tracked down by the third baseman, and indeed it is. And a pop-up and in the infield, relatively routine. That will end it as the Scotties valiantly fought, and the final score might not be indicative of how this one played itself out. 15-9. The final score, Cowley takes the win. The Scotties fought back. We're trying to close it a couple different times, but fall short 15-9 in game number 1 against Cowley. Post-game numbers when we return here on the Scotties Sports Network.
Agriculture program was designed for the farmer or related farm worker of the future. The future arrived quickly. Today's agricultural work goes beyond the field and barn to the computer, the satellite, the drone, the research lab. Aligning all these aspects precisely for the individual, field, and crop is provided by Highland's Precision Ag program. Centered in Baileyville at the College Western Center, this program can provide you with experience in understanding and applying modern farming methods. Check it out.
What is it that stays with Highland alums that make them want to come back and work there? Almost 40 Scotty alums are now Scotty employees, and that number increases every year. Highland President David Rice encourages and supports those who work there with a simple philosophy. You're hired to do a job, do it well. Supporting folks to do their jobs encourages them to meet Rice's simple but high standards. Consequently, Highland faculty, staff, and administration are all part of a supportive culture that helps each other do their jobs well. Check it out, Highland Community College, online at highlandcc.edu.
Welcome back here in game number 1. Scotties fall 15-9 in this showdown, and break down the game, how it played itself out. Cowley gets 4 hits and a couple of walks in the first inning, partnered with an error as well, helping them score 3 runs to take an early lead. They would not relinquish that lead ever, despite the Scotties' opportunities to try to claw back in to the contest. 3-0 lead before the Scotties took the bats off the shoulders. They sent 7 to the plate, Highland did in the bottom of the first inning, however, and got 2 runs back on 2 hits and 2 walks, but then Cowley would get another one scratched across in the top half of the second inning, lead it 4-2 going into the third, when Highland scored 1 without getting a hit in the third, getting back within 1 again at 4-3. And 4-3 it was in the top half of the fourth inning, where the bases were worked loaded by Cowley, and Highland was looking to get out of the inning. We had 2 outs until a grand slam happened by Kevin Rowland. And that opened up the game for Cowley at that point, because they would add a solo home run in the 5th inning. Highland had 3 in the bottom of the 5th inning, as a 3-run homer by Tyler Watson highlighted that frame. And then Cowley answers with 2 more in the top of the 6th. However, the Scotties have a 3-run bottom of the 6th inning, and they're right back in it, only down by 2, 11-9, entering the 7th inning. However, in the 7th inning, they send 8 to the plate. Cowley does, and get a leadoff walk to open up the whole entire inning. That's followed by 4 consecutive hits, another walk, and then they get 4 runs in that inning and go on to take the victory as well. So it was Cowley extending their lead late to secure the win, 15-9 in this showdown. 15 runs on 16 hits overall for Cowley. They did have 5 errors, but left on 8 on base as well. 10 left on base for Highland, 9 runs on 8 hits and 3 errors in this matchup. For Cowley, some offensive highlights for the day. 3-hit day for Alex Peterson. He was also hit by a pitch a couple times. He had a pair of doubles and 2 RBIs. 4-hit day for Grady Davenport as he goes 4 for 4, 3 runs scored and 3 RBIs. And 2-hit day for Dalton Dinkle and also Kevin Rowland, who had the grand slam on the day as well, with finishing with 5 RBIs with that home run, as Kenny Rowland had the solo home run on the day. With the win, it's Brennan Jordan, 4 1/3 innings of action. He gave up 5 runs, all earned on 3 hits and 4 walks. Jared Wilson and Ryan Westerhoff also pitched in the game for Cowley. For Highland Community College, pitching-wise, Justin Resick will take the loss as the starter, going 4+ innings, giving up 9 runs on 10 hits. Walked 4 and struck out 4. Skylar Zirkle and Jake Clevenger were also in on the pitching duties today. Offensively, a 2-hit game for Tyler Watson, who had a 3-run homer on the day, 4 RBIs for him. Also a 2-hit game for Chris Procopio. He had runs scored, 1-hit day, 1 for 2 for Jackson Rico with a pair of RBIs and 2 runs scored and 2 walks. Also Mason Nagel with a RBI today. Keyshawn Ballard with a hit. Jordan Henning with a hit. Ballard scored 3 runs. Also, Jerry Alcantara with a triple on the performance offensively for Highland Community College. So that's a look at the statistics for us here in this matchup. We'll have game number 2 coming up on the Scotty Sports Network as the Scotties fall on game number 1, 15-9 here on the Scotty Sports Network.